She's just a girl.
That's all she is. She's just a girl. It's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron and Bennington. Here's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
And I'm Ron Bennington. Mm-hmm. It is the Bennington Show. We're doing GPS this Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday, 3 p.m. East on Deep Tracks, Channel 27.
It's going to be a good one. Muscle Shoals. The Muscle Shoals, Alabama sound.
Maybe our favorite so far. We've been discussing.
It's 100% my favorite. Matter of fact, I don't even like any of the other ones. I want to redo all those, but
all Muscle Shoals music. GPS Muscle Shoals Part 7.
we wanted to do 60s and 70s. Never even got to the 70s. We love so much of the 60s,
and we will go back.
When you have, to me, it's one of the most romantic things that if you just owned your own little studio. And then all this great music came out of there.
It's a very cool thing. Like, out of nowhere, you have this idea, and then people just start. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, a lot of people build shit. No one comes, but every once in a while, they will come. But the weird thing is, like, there was a scene at Stax in the 60s. Because we did Memphis in the 50s, but Stax in the 60s and 70s was a pretty awesome scene. All right, it's the Bennington Show on what we're now being told by the Obama administration is a Thursday. Believe him or not, it's up to you.
I think we have to. It's the law.
I call him Crooked Obama. Or Lying Obama. Or Little Obama. I can't come up with my own things to call people.
Thirsty Obama.
Thirsty Obama. You get more liquid for yourself? Speaking of thirsty, look at this. I'm drinking some free water from Essentia. They hand it out on the street. And I'm going to hydrate, restore, and balance. I get a 9.5 pH. Thank you, Essentia.
Man, I wish I saw them.
Now, we're doing Opie's show tomorrow while he takes a little break. Do you know who's the performer? Next door at Fox and Friends, where we sit.
No, who's the performer?
Well, I'll just say this. I'm not going to tell you who the performer is, except for you better stop, hesitate, and listen.
What?
Yeah. Nilla Ice is going to be out there.
You're so exciting. Kidding.
No. Nilla Ice, as we salute the 90s.
Oh, my God. Maybe that'll be the band.
Are you excited, Vito?
Oh, fuck yeah, I'm excited.
Well, you got to get out there early. They do checks. They do. You actually watch the whole show.
They do like the mic checks.
Mic check it. Chickity check it.
Mic check. 1, 2.
Mike, this is mic 3.
Check.
Mic 3.
Check.
Got to bring it up a little bit, guys. I'm not hearing myself.
Okay, now that's too much. Bring it down.
Bring it down. And mic check.
And back to where it was originally.
Yeah, mic check.
Perfect.
Mic. All right, let me take the bass. Boom. Bump.
This is what the bass is going to sound like. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, it is the Bennington Show. I think the big hot picture that everyone needs to see, it's up on the iBank today. It's Mr. Orlando Bloom. Now, he and Katy Perry took a little break for themselves in the Caribbean because, this time of the year. No, this is Italy, right? I think they're in Italy. But so they went out on this paddleboard together, and he did the full nude.
He went full Monty on the paddleboard.
Does this look bad that he's naked and she's not?
It is a little strange that he is fully nude and she's wearing proper swimwear attire. Perhaps if she was maybe at least topless, it would have seemed like they're trying to be, free and fun.
Yeah, right. They were having their own scene. Instead, he's like, I haven't had a hit movie now in 9 fucking years. My dick is out. How's that, everybody? Pay attention. My dick is out.
I hope that he's wearing sunblock on that thing because that's a sensitive area that normally doesn't see sun. See, it's very susceptible.
If you go by the shadow, I don't believe there's enough sunblock in the world.
Why am I just now seeing the shadow?
The shadow.
Oh, shit!
This.
Thank you for pointing out the shadow.
This is a shadow that has launched 1,000 ships.
Holy fuck!
I would like to see him with the Zinca on it, where it was just like neon orange.
Well, that's very David Lee Roth. I don't know why I think of David Lee Roth with that.
I think that and what's his name? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Didn't he have just like the all white?
But you're right. There was a time during the 80s that the biggest thing was you could get colored sunscreen.
Yeah.
But I when I say colored, I mean actual.
Yes, the color.
Okay.
This wasn't the 50s. Now that, I mean, is it objects may appear larger with the sun?
Could he be casting a larger shadow? Literally.
Vito, make sure Coach can't see that screen. This is an HR incident.
Keep her away from that.
Waiting to happen.
I think it's coming
And
off
plus,
bigger than it appears.
She might not even like boys if she sees something that massive.
Yeah, it could be scary to her.
Yeah.
I think it's a weird look going penis out, but having a baseball cap on.
All right, good call.
I think if you're going to go fully nude, you don't want to be wearing a hat and you don't want to be wearing shoes.
Or socks.
Yeah, like those are the two weird looks. So I think it's just
I think
a little...
gloves would be nuts too, but that's just me.
I would like
Like
if they were both just wearing a top and both bottomless. I think that would have been a good look.
Gail is the one who...
Donald ducking.
Yes. Gail taught us that the term was Donald ducking. I had never heard it before. That's
When you need to air your shit out. You know, sometimes you need to air it out.
I don't like when we call our genitals shit. I'm going to be totally honest there. But I also think that that look is way worse on a man, Donald ducking.
Oh, yeah. It's
than
way
on any
worse.
woman.
Although, like, I feel like any short t-shirt even on a woman, it's still a very awkward look.
Right.
Like, if you're wearing a longer t-shirt, it could be kind of cute or sexy or comfortable
Like a
looking.
man shirt.
But if you're wearing, like, a t-shirt that, like, stops just below the belly button, it's still, like, kind of a weird look.
I like it.
Where you look like a toddler. You just look like a toddler who, the diaper just came off and it's about time. It's about tubby time. That's what it looks like.
I think it's one of the funner looks, to be totally honest.
All right, someone writes, there's no possible argument that it's not his penis shadow, right? No, of course not.
No, because look at the hand position. Look, if his hand was by his side, it could be possible.
But there's not enough room there to be the actual cock.
Yeah.
Or is it?
How could it be his arm? His arm is going the other direction.
I understand, but could it have something to do with... What are you doing, Chris? You're driving me fucking nuts. Just leave it.
I think that you can actually see his bush a little bit, too.
But that would be ball bush. That's not where you want any hair coming out of that length. Again, keep Coach away from the monitor.
Vito.
Why is the box so small?
Careful.
Now, could it be something to do with the paddle itself?
Could that be paddle? I don't see how it could be. I don't see how.
No, because the paddle shadow is by that, wherever that black rag is. The paddle shadow's right there.
I'm going to say this. The real story here is weirdo Katy Perry. You got two options. A, you get naked, or B, you're like, put your fucking pants on, dude.
Right.
You know we're followed by paparazzi who can shoot a mile and a half away.
They're everywhere.
I mean, these, you don't have to be anywhere close to get these kind of shots. You ever been down to the shore and you see a boat on the just horizon?
Yeah.
Those dudes can shoot you if they wanted to. Now, they don't, Chris, because you don't matter, right?
Damn it.
But if you happen to be, now, fucking without Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom could walk down the fucking street.
No one gives a fuck.
I remember at one point, I guess somewhere around the year 2000, 2001, he had the highest grossing screen average in history because he had done 4 films, and it was like the Pirates of Caribbean and then the Lord of the Rings stuff. It was all he had done. So his average film was like $225 million at the time. And then they're like, this kid's a star. Let's give him his own movies. And shit went south fast.
It didn't work out.
He pretty much destroyed Cameron Crowe's ability to make a film when he wanted to.
There's never really been an Orlando Bloom vehicle for him to show his stuff off. That doesn't have CGI in it.
No, that Cameron Crowe film, you've never seen it, where he's the sneaker guy?
No.
You got to see it. You gotta fucking see it for and just how's this happening?
Oh, I got it. Sounds great.
It's painful. Yeah, I don't think it ever looks fucking happening for her to be dressed and him not.
Also, I think she might be a little prudish, she wouldn't do that.
People are writing in, it's a boat paddle thing or it's his arm. And then Diane B came up with people are photoshopping.
That's no Photoshop. I can spot a Photoshop a mile away.
You cannot.
That is not a skill that you have.
Not a paddle. We see the paddle shadow right there in between him and Katy Perry. That's the paddle shadow right there. See?
Yes, but okay.
There's
you
a paddle
see the
shadow.
disconnect of light there.
And then if that was his arm, I see the arm going, the right arm going down. It's going in that direction, but his arm doesn't get that thin.
That's not thin, dude.
Not maybe thin for an arm.
Yeah. I don't even think for an arm. I think that's a normal size shadow for an arm. All right, now click into it because there's other pictures, but he's just fucking. Or go to the Daily News bought these pictures exclusively. Here he is starting to take ass out.
And she actually looks like, what are you doing?
I know she does. And there's some other fucking dude there. He must be security or something.
Yeah.
Shitty job.
In case they start doing a shitty job. Get his fucking pants on. I don't think they're trying to. The security is there to pull up your pants.
Always keep an eye out for Paps. Oh, Jesus. That shot's awful.
Why is that upsetting you? What? He's enjoying.
His asshole's out. like a poodle's.
I wish that they would have made that bar a circle instead of the rectangle.
Go back to the blue shorts because people are saying that's an erection.
Oh, yeah.
That he has going there.
He's filling up a little bit.
He's excited. He knows what he's about to do.
By the way, what is his little belly button fucking
I've seen that before. It's awful.
That's not for a dude there, man.
It's terrible.
That's weird because it's like what normally is a belly button tattoo around the belt, but he's done it just to the side.
It's creepy.
It's like it's off kilter.
That's a belly button tattoo for a woman, not for a man. There's only one tattoo a man can get on his stomach, Thug Life. Nothing else is acceptable.
It's appropriate. This? Tiny little son? No, Orlando Bloom. I don't know what you're doing, you Australian weirdo.
No, keep going along. You had the a-hole shot.
Yeah.
It's a great shot.
There he's just beach grinding.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he's just leaning in. That's fucking 8th grade dance.
I know.
When the nuns have to come over.
He's like hugging her peach first.
He's probably got that big giant cock all wrapped around it. Like when a snake starts to go around a baby. Well, do me a favor, keep Coach away
Please,
from this.
I don't want her to see any of this.
No, Coach.
Too adult.
All right. There's Katie doing her thing.
Oh, geez.
Oh God, he's sticking his asshole out.
What?
He wants people to take pictures of his asshole.
He's like a fucking swayback, like that guy from The Wave.
He's a moment away from spreading cheek, I feel.
He's a moment away from shitting. Shitting on a beach like a fucking sea rat.
And from standing position.
Like a horse. He's not even going to break stride. Just something fucking drops out the end.
Honey, are you shitting again?
Squat.
Hey, Eric, what's up, buddy?
Hello, Bennington.
Hey, man.
Hey, I got to agree. Katy Perry needs to be nude. That bathing suit is not flattering to her. Looks terrible. I would think somebody would point it out to her. One of her peeps.
It's kind of a surprising bathing suit for a famous person. You know what I mean? It looks kind of off the rack.
Seems like they have a large posse of people with them.
Yes, you have to, dude. They're fucking 1.5 major stars. They just aren't free to go everywhere they want, and plus they need assistants to make sandwiches.
This is a nice picnic.
Yeah. Like, keep going along.
Now, here's what I find interesting.
Yeah, good. I want to hear this.
That here he is, seemingly before actually going out on the paddleboard. He's lounging on the beach with shorts on, and yet he takes it off specifically for paddleboarding. Yeah. Now, if you would have said he was nude sunbathing and then he hopped on a paddleboard, I'd been like, okay, a little strange to paddleboard with the D out, but whatever, that's what he wanted to do. But this is like, he specifically was like, let me whip off these shorts.
And wouldn't he want protection against the rough paddleboard from his dick? Like, for the love of God, Orlando Bloom, protect that.
What do you mean?
This is the worst paddle show I've ever heard. Just say something like that.
He's not going to be like belly down on a paddleboard.
He might end up on the paddleboard like that. I don't know what's going to happen out there.
You know, in that picture there, he looks like he could play the John F. Kennedy Jr. fucking role.
Some good hair.
He does.
Yeah, he's got the John hair. All right, keep going. Oh, no, he doesn't. Now it looks like a rooster head.
Yeah, a little bit wind blown there.
Yeah, but you don't want to be wind blown from the back. Oh my God! You can't walk from the beach into the water like that and look fucking cool.
It's impossible.
Not when you have flippers on.
She looks nuts.
When I was in Mexico,
Why are they hugging around their friends
constantly? Oh, we get it. We get it. You two are together. Keep the pants on, bro. Having more fun with flippers and water sports of all sorts.
And he won't leave her alone. Give her fucking 2 feet to herself. Put a little.
Hey, what are you doing, Kitty?
Put a little air in this relationship.
I'm about to take the peen out. What do you think?
There's no reason.
Now he looks like he's walking around in Sasquatch position, jerking it on the beach.
Or is he taking a walking piss? To finish off that walking
He's in a
shit.
hurry between pissing and shitting.
Next you're just going to see him rolling on a dead carp.
He's so free out here.
You are right. That's the weirdest, fucking nuttiest tattoo ever. It makes no sense.
What would have caused him to get that tattoo? He doesn't have any other tattoos. He doesn't seem like a tattoo guy. Yet he gets that right above his junk.
If he had like 15 other tattoos, we probably wouldn't even notice it. But then you're just like, why do you have this one?
Now, how come there's no major shadow there? I'm starting to wonder about
Well,
this.
because we're straight on.
Still.
We're straight on. The sun is not going to cast a shadow.
That cock should be hanging down to his ankle. All right, keep going. All right, enough of you two fucking putting stuff on each other. Just lathering up constantly.
I hope that the next one is putting sunblock on the beach.
That's the last one.
He would need it. That's the one place that you don't get any fucking sun.
I know. It will be a very sensitive area and easy to burn.
She should be down there buffing it like she's a shoe shine girl down in the subway. Just buffing it up. Turn off. I don't even want her to hear what we're talking about.
Yeah.
She's a nice young...
I just heard him go, stop it!
She's a nice young Argentinian girl.
Protect her, Vito.
Yeah.
I put up a parental block on the computer for you guys.
I get bad news about Coach, too. I think she has Zika.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
I think she has Zika. Last night, they were chanting Zika at our star goalie.
Hope Solo?
I like to call her Han Solo, a New Hope. The newest hope. We got off to a big 2-0 win. Yeah, this is why they're mad at her, because she did a funny fucking bit. I guess she was drunked up again. Like she wasn't punching her sister, her boyfriend, or the cops. That chick gets drunk and just like immediately, what the fuck did you say to me?
She's crazy.
People are like, I didn't say a fucking thing, hon.
It's like at family gatherings and
But
shit.
you're fucking eyeballing me when I'm sitting here having a nice fucking adult beverage, not bothering a soul. But look at me again. Look at me. Fucking people are just near her and they're just hitting 9-1 and just standing next to her. Oh, shit.
I'm going to stop her from drinking so much.
Is this the police? Han Solo just beat up her sister? You know who I mean. I'm nervous. I'm in a closet right now. She's coming. She's coming. Just come. What are we supposed to do with a major shooter?
Barricade, confront.
It's ABC. Avoid, barricade, confront.
You know what? A and C contradict each other, so that guy didn't know what the fuck he was talking about.
I think it's like a list. Like if A fails, go to B. If B fails, C.
I'm going CBA then.
Confront, barricade, then avoid?
Yeah.
I avoid what I've done.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Hope Solo was in the fappening also. I don't know if anyone checked that out.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I thought
it was
illegal
immoral.
to look at the fappening.
I think the first few days it was totally legal until everyone decided it was bad.
You know, I can't bother just going through any kind of WikiLeaks or any of that. I'm just like, just someone fucking take the best part and put it in the Washington Post.
Yeah, exactly. The
not gonna
WikiLeaks it's like, we released 27,000 documents. What the fuck? Are you going to just fucking search for words? Like, it's mostly gibberish and bullshit and boring. It's like gigs of fucking text.
Okay, easy, dude. This isn't school that you have to do.
And
It's there if you want it.
And Julian Assange was like, we have so many documents, we're going to stagger it. So as we get closer to it, we're going to release more and more.
Well, he wants to do it before the debates and just, have all kinds of shit. He's trying to, I guess he's, for whatever reason, doesn't like Hillary, I guess, because he can't leave.
Yeah.
But where's he living? Is he still in that room?
I think he's still in London in the consulate of like a South American country. Maybe
some embassy
Venezuela.
of somebody like that. Yeah. And he's stayed in there for like years, right?
It's at least 2 years he's been in that building.
I mean, that's jail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a jail with better food.
Sometimes he goes out on the balcony. And you'll
Like the Pope.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm on the
Racist
balcony
people.
constantly.
But it's like 3 stories high. It's not very big.
And now, who's the other guy in Russia?
That's Ed Snowden.
And he doesn't like WikiLeaks, right? I thought he said something bad about him the other day.
Yeah, I think he trashed them, but he's in Russia.
He can't get out of there.
No,
No.
he can't. I think some other countries are trying to extradite him too, but Putin's like, no, this guy's with us now.
He's on our team.
He's in a nice bugged room where we listen to every fucking thing that he does.
Happy now, Snowden? I can't wait for that movie to come out that Oliver Stone's making about it. It looks fucking crazy.
I talked to a guy who's has something to do with that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to say who he is, but he says some of it's great and some of it's just Stone.
I'm going to be there.
You know what I mean? Like that's the problem with Stone. Like you're sitting there talking to him, you're like, and I have before, and you're like, this is one of the most fascinating people that ever lived, and then he gets into this, whatever kind of conspiracy thing that you're like, man, you're making some major jumps all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well,
he's very into sensationalizing things.
But
and
he
then
doesn't realize it.
and then losing grasp of the fact that that's kind of what he's doing. I think.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he realizes, and he, but he's serious as fuck. He's not fucking around. This isn't some kind of crazy, just like, hey, I got a great fictional idea. And people, have you ever watched that Nixon thing that he did? It's insane. He basically acted like Nixon was like a frothing dog, and you're like, we know who Nixon was. We've seen him. He wasn't crawling around on the floor and eating fucking pills. It was just the dude that got carried away.
It was his vision.
I mean, just fucking showing Nixon as he was is scary enough. Hey, here's a buddy G-Man.
Hi, Martez.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, I'm listening on the apps. I'm a little behind. I apologize. I just
No
wanted
worries.
to know, you think Orlando Bloom put a little sunblock on that hog?
You have to.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Wait,
it would
Galen, did you just tweet out that? Oh no, it wasn't you who put Bloom's prick. Did you write Bloom's
No,
prick?
I didn't.
Okay, I thought
That's
Andrea.
the queen.
Saucy language, Gail.
That's the queen's language, not me.
It would have been hysterical if you just put
Checking out Bloom's prick right now.
Tune in. Share.
Share it, get it out there, Bloom's prick. He's a fucking wild man, that Bloom.
Yeah.
But he probably kept the hat and the sunglasses on just so no one would recognize him. That's probably what was inside his
I
head.
recognized him from his prick. From a fucking glory hole he had down.
Oh my God.
It was the first sidewalk glory hole in history. It was very, very exciting. And here's the only bad thing about it. It was 2 days after 9/11.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Seems like it's not right. It's not the right time.
And
for that.
actually, somebody had spray painted, this is one tower that will never fall.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to back up to take a picture. I can't get it all in. Wait, I don't mean my asshole.
Oh, no.
Wait!
You're leaving.
I hate you! No!
He left.
Shouldn't have laughed so hard.
Yeah, but
I'm back. I'm not going to let these bullies chase me away from my position.
yeah, be proud of who you are.
I don't like that you're saying it that way. Their bullying can happen in all directions. You know, punching up is still punching. Still hurts. Oh my God! Move your head back away from that picture, Chris.
Why is he so close
We're
to it?
done with that.
I'm just trying to see if it's real.
No,
And wipe your drool off the screen, please.
Oh, that isn't drool.
No!
Run out. It helps me. Just run out.
You came on it.
Be blunt. Blunt is never funny. He's going to be live tomorrow on the Opie Show.
Double Trouble Bennington.
Oh, yeah. That's our favorites.
Yeah. It's a fun time. It's a silly time. It's a time I feel we all get to know each other really well. It's like those work bonding like excursions. Yeah. And every day, every double Friday ends with a trust fall. Every time.
Who you want to catch from this fucking crew? Nobody. I don't trust you to be able to do it even if your intentions are good. I'm just going to have some more of this free essential water.
It looks delicious.
Well, there's a couple reasons why I do it. Hydrate, restore, balance.
It seems like too many things to do while you're drinking it.
I don't have to do it. It does it for me, Chris.
I just want to hydrate.
Now, remember when, and you didn't get a free water, so you went out for your jungle juice in the morning. What's it called?
Well, this is like a kale. It's a kale smoothie.
So you offered to get one for Chris since I already had a Sensia.
Yeah.
And Chris says, I don't drink juice. I've never met a fucking person who says they don't drink juice.
Don't like juice. Don't like it at all. It just does nothing for me.
Do you like fruit?
Like
This is going to be the reason why.
water, maybe some soda.
But do you eat vegetables?
Very rarely.
Okay. Because
I've never seen, I don't think I've ever seen him eat a vegetable.
I saw him ask the waitress to take it off his plate before. He said there's some weeds got on his plate. I go, that's
Can you
not.
take off this garnish, please?
I go, that's not weeds. That's asparagus.
Ugh.
So
what about when you're having breakfast? Have a little orange juice.
I'm not a big breakfast guy. When I was a kid, my parents never fed me breakfast. Maybe a bowl of cereal on the odd day. I'm talking odd by odd day, maybe once a month, if that.
You ate 12 bowls of cereal a year.
What you're describing is abuse, Chris.
I got lunch and dinner from what I can remember, but
cigarettes. Here's your
Smoke up, Stanley. I like the idea of his parents call him by his last name. Smoke up, Stanley.
Stanley, get away from that breakfast. That promotes weakness. Well, they always say breakfast is the least important meal of the day.
I guess my parents
Doesn't even matter.
They would drink coffee. They wouldn't eat breakfast either.
But just because of that, it doesn't make sense that you're saying you
don't like juice.
Don't like juice now as an adult.
But juice is a morning beverage. I don't think too many people are drinking juice after, say, noon.
Look at me. Here I am. I'm drinking it.
That's a smoothie. It's different.
First of all, a juice is a beverage, and a giant part of America will have apple juice, orange juice, pineapple juice, cranberry juice. Juice is a $1 billion industry. The orange juice business itself was a very, very big part of Trading Places.
I'm going to start you in a program and get you into juice. And I feel like you're going to think this is a little weird. Start off with grape juice because it's like candy.
Grape juice?
And like if you like soda and sweets.
Yeah, love them.
Then I think you're going to like grape juice.
You know, I saw this. It's the first time in history that bottled water is going to sell more than bottled sodas.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm trying to fight back against that. Drink as many sodas in as possible.
Well, first of all, Beatles cut. What are you doing with your hair
right now?
Your 1962 Beatles. How could someone... Is Disco Dan want to get in on this? Is that what the point is? Was there something added about the juice?
Does he wheeze the juice?
Dad just came from the company barbecue.
Oh, he's going down for barbecue?
Yeah, he brought cookies.
Brought 2 cookies for the whole team.
Black and whites?
Just whites.
How was the...
That's,
I'm not
man.
liking what we're saying here.
Mm.
It's a racial thing. It's literally just a white cookie.
There's chocolate on it. That's a black and white cookie.
Did he just throw the cookie away?
He's
I don't
so
know.
mad.
He's stomping
He's
over
running
here
out.
because he wants to prove.
storming in there.
This is New York, home of the famous black and white cookie.
Disco dance off the rails.
No one just makes a white cookie.
Find the chocolate around.
Oh, I thought this part of it. I thought up here was the. See how the thing
Oh,
goes?
yeah. It did look like a black and white.
This might be a lemon cookie.
Is it? Because that interests me.
Disco.
It says Cheryl's buttercream frosted cutout cookie. What's a cutout mean?
Cut out of what? The dough? All cookies are cutouts.
It's redundant.
Here, try a little bit of this. I'll tell you this, moist.
Oh, I like that.
Delicious.
How was the? It's just so moist. It just half of it fell. How was the barbecue?
Well, it was pretty packed, honestly. It's a very small patio thing that they do it on. You've ever been to it, or is it always during your show?
I'm always working.
Working. Oh,
You asshole! Do you think that this isn't work?
no, it's totally
No.
work.
Why are you surprised? Look at Vito's dying. What I'm doing right now is considered work. That's why I pay taxes on it. This isn't just fun time hanging out with my friends.
I agree with you.
What do you think? I don't think you do, Dan. I don't think you do.
Drew's backpedaling right now.
I'm backpedaling to the point where, like, the ledge is there, and
Dan, let me just say this. What you are and who you represent is everything that Trump is working against right now.
that's like kind of cool to me, though.
You
Kinda what I'm
are
going for.
you are Hillary backer number one in our world.
That's not okay. Like on paper, or like.
What do you mean on paper?
No, we're not writing anything.
What
We're just
am I going to
talking
write
about
down?
it.
That would be actual work, and you know I don't do that.
Well, I
Let's
will.
go, Dan. Have you found a woman for yourself yet?
No.
I was reading this that young people today have far less sex than previous generations.
Ron, in my personal experience, that's absolutely true.
When's the last time, Dan?
Dude, while.
Who was president?
Obama.
The first time.
It was second term.
Oh, you mean the baby when you guys decided?
No, yeah, I love abortion.
But Vito, you're not even attempting to date.
Yeah, I'm not really into dating, and like I had like a one night stand like a month and a half ago, and it made me feel really weird, and I hated it, and I was really scared for the next week. So I'm not into the.
What were you scared of?
I don't know, getting her pregnant and getting a disease. I don't know. One night stands gross me out. I think it's really disgusting.
Where did you meet this guy?
This woman, and I met her at a bar called Brass Monkey downtown.
The monkey. But yeah, it's a known fact.
Now this surprises me because this is right after, studies were saying that they were the most sexually adventurous as far as sleep, not really defining themselves by either straight or gay.
You're right, because if you don't have sex with girls, eventually you become gay.
So yeah, they were saying that that this generation has been the most sexually advanced, and
No,
this is saying
No, it's not sexually advanced. They're not doing stuff. They're just not calling themselves straight or gay.
so they're just not identifying and saying I'm one or the other.
Right. They're just some new evolved non-having sex bisexual.
What they
being.
say is it's a spectrum, It's not just black and white, gay or straight, Everybody's somewhere on the spectrum.
Isn't it
So-
pansexual?
Yeah, but so black lives don't matter in your opinion then?
Is that what you're saying?
Say that one more time.
Black lives don't
I
matter.
said
because
black
you-
wives, and I was
White wives don't matter is what we're saying. Now, here's the deal, though. The great Clint Eastwood just came out and called you guys yesterday the pussy generation, which is incredibly blunt. And someone has to point out to Clint, though, you were just playing a cowboy. You weren't an actual.
You actually weren't.
Yeah. But I see where he's coming from. You know what I mean?
Really?
In terms of less masculinity, I think happens with every generation.
I feel like he's just complaining, as many people his age who are white do, especially who are males, that they're seeing an increasingly less white male-run world, and it threatens them, and they lash out about political correctness.
Well, first of all, you aren't running the world. He still is. But at 88, he still is, running his world. So I don't think that bothers him as much as that he thinks there's and we won't even go pussy because that's kind of misogynist, but it's a wimpier generation now. Now, the weird thing is, you see, the kind of fanboy thing, right, is this kind of almost pre-sexual way to behave. I collect toys,
Right.
Can't wait for my comic book movie and all that. So it doesn't surprise me that sexuality is, pushed back. And people would say to me, well, weren't you? And I'm like, I already, by the time I was your age, fucking had kids. I'd been married twice. You know what I mean? I'd fucking done all kind of, so like, I didn't have time to collect toys. I don't even think I collected toys when I was 10. Just wanted to go outside.
No, nothing.
Trains. No
dolls. Nothing.
Like I wanted a GI Joe, was not permitted a GI Joe because it was considered a doll.
Yeah, I don't know, that's sad, Ron. I wish you could. I had your GI Joe moment.
You know where my GI Joe existed for me when I was a kid? Here, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's the toy I had to play with.
Great.
My own imagination. But to sit and have toys sit behind glass, I never could have fucking done that. I went crazy.
Yeah, that reminds me of Toy Story 2.
I didn't see it.
Oh, man, yeah.
You know why I didn't
it's like
see
an
it?
evil toy collector, because you had no relationship to toys.
No, because I'm a man. And a man who's not taking a child to a cartoon is fucking creepy.
Well, I was in like 4th grade, so
that's fine for you then.
I just want to comment that,
But you still go to cartoons, don't you?
No, I haven't.
You're going to go see that
while.
cat thing this weekend.
Which cat thing?
By the way, there's
Zootopia.
Speaking of, no, this is 9 Lives, I think it's called. There's 12,000 fanboys have signed something to shut down Rotten Tomatoes because they give DC Comics bad reviews.
For Suicide Squad specific, like this time it's like,
and also Batman and Robin. They think they're mean to DC.
Well, they're not mean to DC. They're just being accurate. The fucking universe sucks.
And it's not like Rotten Tomatoes is making the reviews. They're just aggregating reviews from everywhere. So it's
By the way,
not Rotten Tomatoes'
there's
fault.
very few reviewers I would even read or care about on there. Those bloggers don't mean shit to me anyway. John in Miami. John.
Hey, I don't know if this term is new or not, but I would call it the jog generation.
What's that?
The jerk-off generation.
Because they have so much porn at their disposal.
So much.
Yeah. I don't think past generations jerked off less. I think they also had sex.
Right.
Now, the reason I think, like, let's say the 60s, the 70s, you didn't have fucking video games, so you might as well fucking bang. You know what I mean?
I think that's true, and also it costs less to go out. Where
are you going?
Dude, I mean, going to a bar in Manhattan. I live in Manhattan. I live a little uptown. Going to a
go
bar,
to a
that's a $30 night.
A $30 night. You can go to a fucking house party.
But do you really
Where are there house parties, Ron? Tell me.
Throw a house party. You live in a fucking house. Throw a house party.
$30 also isn't bad for a night out.
Yeah, but I got to afford weed too.
Oh, damn.
But do you really think that video games would stand in the way of sex? Like, do you think
something
that's
is? What is standing in the way of sex then? What is it about these young people?
It's hard to imagine that this is true, but it can't be because of something like video games.
Do you know
like,
who I heard it from? Science. Science told me this.
Do you think maybe it's also the idea that you can, like, with dating apps, have sex on demand that
you would think
almost
there would be more.
but you almost like want it. It's that it's attainable easily, I guess.
Is it? Let's see how.
Well,
quick you can
no.
get laid on
I'm not
Tinder.
saying for me. I'm saying for maybe the general population, and maybe that's changed things.
Okay, what about this? Maybe because of things like pornography, access to the internet, that maybe standards are too high. That there's this impossible standard of sex, sexuality, what women are supposed to look like, what men are supposed to look like. That
Right. So some guy who thinks that if I don't have a porn dick, I'm not part of this.
Exactly.
It's an interesting premise that maybe these are young men that lack confidence because for the same reason they wouldn't walk on a basketball court because they're like,
Right.
I've watched the NBA. I'm not that good. Here's what I got to say, though. Fucking play. Shoot that fucking rock, all right? Put that fucking shot up. Every once in a while, it's going to go in. You're going to feel good.
Are you going to get slapped down sometimes?
Yes, it happens.
It's going to hurt.
But don't you also think that the idea that millennials live at home longer and don't get into a career until later than the previous generation did, that perhaps that impinges upon dating?
I understand what you're saying. I'm saying in my neighborhood at fucking 14, 15, kids were fucking in the bushes like dogs. You'd have to go outside and fucking just... We were fucking banging in parked cars. We had nowhere to go. We would rather fucking stand in the snow and smoke cigarettes than go inside. I think you guys have been raised inside, and that's your comfort place now. You know what I mean? Like, you're inside people. Now, when we were up in Montreal, that fucking entire city, everybody from Quebec was outside because it's summer and they've had a long winter and they're going to party every night outside. There's music playing, there's street performers. They wanted to be outside. You don't see that as much in America.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true, but the people that you do see it from is youth. Like, young people do that, I think. Like, young people, the younger neighborhoods are out in the parks and they're out, in the bars. So it does seem like they're...
I do think there's a percentage of young people having sex. I don't think it's a majority. I think there's a lot, you know what I mean? Like, I get completely, I'm going to say 10 to 15% of the young people are playing boogie down. You know what I mean?
What about better education on STDs, pregnancy?
Yes, that's fucking fear factor.
Yeah.
That's
like maybe
the
that
fear
has
factor.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it.
We drummed into the kids' heads. Be safe, stay inside, don't get a disease. I get that.
No, I had this horrible health teacher, it was basically in high school, it was every scare tactic, and that culminated in if you have sex, if you get someone pregnant, here's what happens. And then she showed us this graphic video of an abortion, the entire process of it. And it was just are we in the 1950s or something? This is insane.
It's up to you whether you want to buy into that, though.
I didn't because I was
You won't rap that rascal. You raw dog it every single time.
He's a raw dog. He's Channel 99, everybody calls him.
Channel 99. Tune in.
I will say this. I'm going to give this benefit to this generation. I think they're more into anal than any heterosexuals in the history of the planet. Anal ride's very, very large.
And do you tie that to the acceptance of the gay rights movement?
No, I think pornography.
It's straight porn.
Pornography has just made everyone go, oh, this isn't a weird thing. Seems like this is a standard.
Eating ass is standard now.
Well, there was also a thing
definitely standard.
That because they scared kids so much about pregnancy, they figured some quick anal could keep them from being mommies and daddies.
Everyone wins in that situation.
Let's see. Medina Moore said, Ron just said Katy Perry's bathing suit looks off the rack. Can revive the some homo hashtag. No way. Can't use that under any circumstances.
That's not
acceptance.
Good. Yeah.
Acceptance. I was calling I was using the name Caitlyn Jenner in 1993.
How did you know?
Huh? I had a fucking feeling.
Wow.
I don't want to call it gaydar because it's also offensive. I'll just say transtar.
Wow.
Well, who's next?
Who's next to change? I'm fucking thinking you, dude. I'm thinking you could be on your way.
You want to transition?
Well, no, I'm not very manly, but
you don't
identify as a man.
You don't think of yourself as manly?
I'm not the kind of guy who can like build a shelf. No.
Well, first of all, you don't even build the shelf. It's already comes equipped. You just put it up.
You got to nail the like 3 pieces in, and I'm not capable of that.
You're not capable of driving a nail.
I've driven a nail, but not for something that like more for like a portrait, not for something that would need to be held together.
You need to drive a nail into your neck.
Is that?
I almost feel for Disco Dad, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
That was really fucking.
He doesn't
depressing.
believe in himself. All you got to do is go to YouTube. We'll show you how to do anything.
No, but the thing is, it's not depressing. I just don't give a shit. I never was raised to appreciate like the value of like knowing how to fix your toilet. Like I don't like. Who cares?
What if your fucking toilet breaks? You need to be able to fix it. Can you fix a clog?
Are you handy, Chris?
I'm somewhat handy, I'd say.
What can you do?
I've done some plumbing work.
Plumbing worked?
You had a broken window in your apartment for 3 years. And
Thank you.
Fixed it.
That's laziness.
That's what I'm waiting for.
How was it in the winter?
And
Terrible.
it was awful. I called my super. He fixed it right away.
3 years.
That's insane.
I was afraid that they wouldn't fix anything in the apartment. Because I'm fucking paying very cheap rent.
Another thing, like your ceiling was cracked or some other like issue too. You're not handy.
You know what's cracked on him is soul. So you agree with Clint Eastwood then?
No. See, I don't agree with Clint Eastwood. I see where he's coming from because that perspective is basically what's propelled like Trump's rise. So I get that it exists, but I don't agree with it at all. Like the whole like why do we care what like the get off my lawn guy says, you know? Like
first of all, you want to limit him to one movie? Have you seen the fucking body of work? He's literally
I've seen Dirty Harry. I've seen all those movies. They're
even
fine.
in his fucking past 65, he's had a greater career as a director.
I didn't see those
than anyone in history.
I didn't see that like Flags of Our Fathers movie, those war movies.
Why? Because they scare you?
No, I just don't really. I don't
Hate
know.
America?
$1 Million Baby, Mystic River. These are fucking great movies.
$1 Million Baby, everyone knew the ending before. It's just like, why am I going to see this? Mystic River, I saw. That was really good.
I'm
not saying.
I'm sorry, just because it's not a fucking cartoon. By the way, I haven't seen Gran Torino.
It's ridiculous.
It's an insane movie.
All right, but if that's, you're going to fucking define a guy who's made 120 movies, started a fucking directing career late in life. He's an amazing artist.
That's great and all, but this comment
makes you attack his work?
No, I'm not attacking his work. I'm saying, why does he have any credibility?
But why do you get to use ageism on a fucking guy that's 88 instead of saying, this is amazing? This man is exploring parts of his art that he didn't even do as a young person, and you're acting like, oh, he's old, as if you're not also suffering from age as every other fucking species out there.
I don't think that was an ageist criticism, and I think that we have to stop.
We know what the get off the lawn guy means. There's plenty of young people who don't want you to walk on their lawn, but we know it's an attack at age.
I was referring more to Gran Torino, but
yes, I understand. I haven't seen it, but I know it's an age attack that you did. Why don't you just do this? And I think we're back to, you vote for Trump and put a fucking Make America Great Again hat on.
Why?
Because here's the thing. I think that you need... This is the weirdest thing to answer a joke with why, isn't it? But I'm going to play in this world with you. I'm going to play in this world. You look down on people who actually do physical work. You believe that fixing a toilet or putting up a shelf is beneath you.
No, I don't. I just don't think it's...
How many people do you live with?
3. 3 others.
So there's 4 of you.
Yes.
In that place.
Yes.
None of you can put up a shelf?
One of us is pretty hands-on, so okay.
And that's the one that everyone mocks. You see where I'm
Yeah.
going with this, Chris?
I see.
No, he's the one we asked.
They
to
call
do
him handy,
everything.
and they just throw shit at him every day.
Handy like hand job?
Yeah, like handy. Like, oh, you're so handy.
Give me
Why don't you
another
jerk me
handy.
off?
This always fucking kills me that we're supposed to accept everyone except for the masculine guy. Except for Mr. Clint Eastwood, who, by the way, was a High Plains drifter. You better never fucking forget that, okay? He was the stranger. In the good, the bad, the ugly, he was the good.
I gotta watch that one.
And you know what? Dirty Harry, unlike real life, solved the Zodiac killing.
Yeah. And don't forget that time that he talked to an invisible Obama in a chair. So don't forget that.
By the
part.
way, that's called improv. It's taught in acting school.
It's genius.
But I would argue that
I got news for you. I've never seen that. When that thing started, I said, no, I love Clint Eastwood too much.
So
Let's hear it.
uncomfortable.
But I would argue that why can't we celebrate the work of just like, with someone like, I don't know, Woody Allen? Like, sure, he's a great work, but a dubious personal life.
Why?
So,
Can I just pause and say, is there anything better when he ups the volume on something like
First
this?
of all,
It's great work with a dubious personal life.
Woody Allen is one of the most celebrated filmmakers in history. There's never a day goes by that someone doesn't say they admire Woody Allen, despite whatever happened in his personal life, despite his own kids bitching about it.
yeah, that was a bad example. But I just think, when someone like Clint Eastwood makes a statement like that, it fuels this like angry white man machine that has propelled a
machine. He just came up.
machine. That has propelled.
You put accents on everything like that.
I do. No. That's given rise to potentially like the most dangerous presidential candidate ever. And like that's not a joke. That's fucking serious.
All right, well, just slow down. Make your after you make your statement, let it fucking air out. Let other people in.
I'm letting you in, Ron and Gail.
But you're still talking.
You're a creep.
Here I am. I'm like,
So, but I'm just saying this: we're always accepting everybody's opinion here, right? Except for that white guy. This is still the fucking thing of you're blaming an artist for racism, and I don't think anybody could be able to say Clint Eastwood is a racist.
No, I'm not saying that.
But you're equating the white guy thing with racism.
I would.
And you attack ageism.
Attack with ageism or attack ageism?
You attack elderly people. And by the way, there's no possible way that you could look at Clint Eastwood, no matter how you feel about his work, because I know you don't like Gran Torino, but without saying this guy is the old age that every fucking human being would want for themselves.
Like the kind of career and the kind of place he is in the world at that age?
Well, the kind of work that he's doing, forget even the success of money, the fact that you go out and he just had a thing with that American Sniper movie that was the biggest movie of the year. It had a rubber baby in it. It still was the biggest movie of the year. Now, I don't know whether you guys heard this story. Bradley Cooper took his I need you to put your glasses back on. I get a little scared when you take your glasses off and stare at me. I don't know what's going on there.
They're just a little sweaty.
What's that? I know, but I just felt like I walked outside at night and a hedgehog was on my... It just scared me a little bit.
Like on your porch?
Yeah, I just didn't want to see that. So Bradley Cooper takes his mom to see Obama talk. All the fans of American Sniper wrote him a lot of mean stuff and wrote to him and said that they were so angry with him. And he was on TV on the 12:30 sing-along car karaoke show. He said he was shocked by it. He didn't know that you could be seen as un-American by going to see the president talk. But also, to point out to people, he's not actually the American Sniper.
Wait, you mean every movie character ever wasn't actually...
Well, the guy who played Dick Vermeil in the movie, the blonde-haired guy.
Greg Kinnear?
Yeah, Greg Kinnear. He came in and did our show. And he was in one of those shows where a little kid dies and goes to heaven and comes back. And I kind of asked him about it. He was like, why would I look at this differently than any other movie? You know what I mean? I was like, hey, did it kind of move, when you think about the product? He goes, no. I don't think about it. Harry Potter makes a movie too. What the fuck? I mean, he's just an actor. I really wanted to have a conversation about, is it possible who people have died and went back? But that didn't interest him. And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, he is an actor.
Right.
He was offered a role. He took it.
And he's doing his job by pretending.
Right.
Like he is a specific person.
He's not. Yeah, that is always. No, I won't say always because that's a prejudice there too. But a large portion of actors don't think about much more than the lines, and then after they say the lines, they're done with it.
Right.
It makes them a rougher interview than most people, right. Because the writer, the director, even the producer, they think about the topic and the theme. Some actors really do.
Yeah,
some actors, like look, I talked to David Mamet. He wrote a book just fucking telling actors just to say what I wrote.
Yeah. Don't
fucking do anything else. Just say it.
Yeah. Don't worry about where you were 30 minutes before this scene happened.
You weren't there. How's about that? You were pretending.
You didn't
You're
exist.
reading my brilliant fucking work. Just do that, dude. Don't do anything else.
Say the words on the script.
Don't worry whether you should have a limp for no fucking reason or what your underwear should be. Say those words. If you say those words correctly, the illusion will appear.
Bring nothing to this character but what I give you.
I remember back when it was very popular, like director's commentary was very popular on DVD. And I was watching the director commentary on Donnie Darko. And so this actor, and his name is escaping me, but I think he was on ER in the 90s, but he plays one of the main character's teachers.
Mm-hmm.
He's maybe in 2 scenes.
Noah Wiley.
Yeah, that's it. That's the dude.
Dr. Carter.
Yeah. So he's in like maybe 2 or 3 scenes of this movie.
Yeah.
And in every scene, he's either eating something or he's like sucking on a piece of candy or something like that. And the director was saying, he came to me and he's like, I feel like this character has blood sugar issues, might be diabetic or something. And like he'll always need something. And the director was like, okay.
Yeah.
If you want to do that.
I don't give a fuck.
He's like, you're in like 2 or 3 scenes, so,
Right.
So you're-
whatever you want to do, dude.
I'm here because you were on TV and you're willing to do this, and I get to put your name on the fucking poster without putting up with you at all.
So
This character has 5 lines in the movie.
would you say you're anti like method acting?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I just was told you what Mamet had to say. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say as long as I buy into it. But do your work. Don't fucking bother me with it.
Right.
Just do your work. I don't care. I'll buy into a movie when that moment happens. But I don't care.
Your
what anybody
journey.
has to do.
Yeah, like whatever it is that you do to get there. I mean, if you think about, what's his name? Tony Soprano.
Gandolfini,
that he would do these like insane warm-ups, like, where he was like imagining he was an animal and he would be like in his trailer, like growling and ripping up stuff. And then he like comes out and he does that. And it's like, well, if that's what it takes to get him there, that's great. And it would have been great if he just walked out and that was him. You know what I mean? Like,
I've always said to people who work on my show, like, if you get it done, I don't care. If you want to work out of your house or you're at a bar while you're doing your work,
right.
And prep work. I don't give a shit. But we have to have, the show. That's the thing. The show has to happen. Like, people are always, asking me about the interview things. It doesn't matter whether I prep a lot. It doesn't matter whether I don't prep at all. It just matters if the fucking interview works. Then people leave and they go, oh, that was a great interview. But no one ever goes, the interview went terrible, but I know that you read up and watched all this stuff. No one gives a shit about that. I'm going to tell you this. This annoys me, though. This annoys me about the arts. Mike Birbiglia, who just did that film.
Don't think twice.
And it's out now. That film got an R rating, and the Suicide Squad got a PG-13 13 rating. They shoot people with machine guns in Suicide Squad, and we're told it's for children. And this film isn't for children because somebody was smoking a marijuana cigarette or joint, as some people call it.
The rating system is so insane.
Just get rid of it.
It's so bizarre. Go ahead. No.
There was a documentary. It was called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated." I don't know if you saw that. It was about how ridiculous.
Not only did I see it, Dan, but I had the director in here. Okay,
I didn't work here. Then.
But you're asking me about whether I do my work or method act. So this is a very good point, and I think Apatow came out on Birbiglia's side and said, if this was a studio film, there would have been people to go there and fight, and they would have got this down to a PG-13.
Right.
But this whole thing about whether little kids are going to go to the movies, what little kids go to the movies these days without their parents? They don't fucking let their little kids go to a mailbox without the parents being there. What kid is going to go walking into an R-rated movie at what, 13? 12?
Yeah.
Those kids aren't even in the mall. Their moms go to the mall with them. Pussy Generation.
That was actually the name of my band in high school, and we were pretty good.
Well, the thing about you guys is you took it back, and that was impressive.
It's our word.
And look, here's the other.
And so's cunt, by the way.
And you know what? I don't mind that you're with Disco Dan. I get it, Gail. But here's the thing. This is my problem with Dan. He wouldn't say this to Clint Eastwood's face, and if you feel like you will, go ahead. Make his day. You know what I mean, folks? Make his day. I know what you're thinking, punk. We're talking about Rowdy Gaines here from Rawhide. This is Clint fucking Eastwood. And if he says something, I do hate when everyone who says they're against bullying immediately go into that. Well, he's an old man. That's like somebody saying, well, he's a gay man. Well, what would he know? It's a form of fucking prejudice.
I don't know if I agree.
Well, let's just say, what? That attacking somebody for age?
I'm not. This has nothing to do with age. If he was 35, it would be the same thing.
You said he shit in a bag.
But he shouldn't. That's a condition.
But here's the thing, and this comes up, and you'll, unlike judgmental people like yourself, you'll hear me and Penn talking. I find him to be one of the most fascinating people in the world. I don't know how libertarian is going to work with 330 million people. But rather than arguing with him, why wouldn't I just want to hear what he had to say? And Penn is extremely cordial to other people. Now, I had a guy a little while ago bitching to me about Penn and saying that it's fundamentalism what they do. As far as him being an atheist, and they want to take hope and comfort away from people. And this is one and I had to point out to them. I go, I'm telling you, if you meet, because they were comparing Penn with Bill Maher and people that are outspoken atheists. I think he's one of the most comforting people. I think he's one of those people who is really sensitive to problems in the world. In my version of spirituality, Penn Jillette is an incredibly spiritual person in the way he feels connected to art, nature, and the human experience itself, the experience of consciousness. But I understand what the other person is like, I get that some people don't even want their faith questioned. Why do people question it? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'd rather be around people like that, Disco Dan, than you and your anti-aging, anti-white attitude.
The most disenfranchised group, the elderly white men.
You know what? Did you ever hear of a term called greatest generation?
Yeah.
My dad was part of that.
Yeah.
I'm part of the 7th greatest generation, top 10. And we're talking top 10 all time.
And I say, pussy generation number 1. What's up, pussies?
Just own it.
I'm Generation Y. No one even talks about us anymore.
That's millennial. I wish that I could explain to you.
Is Chris a millennial?
Look, Chris,
Yes,
I'm Generation Y.
I ain't no goddamn millennial.
Why is that your
everybody else is having a
response?
conversation.
Everyone's just talking.
Chris is called Generation Y because of how high he wears his bathing suit. And then he said to me, "Who wants to eat at the Y?" I go, first of all, Chris.
Yeah.
No one serves food at the Y.
That would be gross.
And second, pull your pants down a little bit.
The joke doesn't make sense.
Here's a millennial who's she dropped the top and she's getting out there. Young Ireland Baldwin, and her mom is
Kim
who's her mom?
Basinger.
What is it?
Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger, who was perhaps a sex symbol of the 90s. And this is popping up. I don't know what this magazine that she's...
Treats magazine.
But if you go... Now, I don't know how old she is. She's still pretty young. But this is a real throwback. Go down a little bit. The other way, Chris. Stop being an idiot. That's a throwback look, right?
Yeah,
That's
it is a very throwback look. She actually looks more mature.
Right.
And I don't mean to say it in a mean way. Like, she's youthful in some of the other pictures. In that picture, she's like very adult womanly, you know?
Right. Almost like a 1950s or a 1940s look, which, by the way, Kim Basinger could pull off. That's when she won her Oscar for playing somebody from that generation. But remember, it doesn't seem that long ago, but when that tape came out of Alex Baldwin making fun of her, calling her piggy and stuff. Yeah. In the bathtub.
Wasn't he like? Oh, I'm thinking David Hasselhoff. No, David Hasselhoff was eating a hamburger in a bathtub.
Let's stay on topic.
Okay, sorry.
Let's stay on topic. But he was calling her piggy and stuff. This girl's grown into an amazing woman.
Oh yeah.
Don't be gross.
Why is he so gross? I mean, he was just doing this to Malia Obama the other day.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Who was a baby just a couple years ago, just a little White House baby.
All right, now let's look at her nude. And I don't know whether you guys remember Kim Basinger pose for Playboy, but Chris, which do you pick, her or mom?
I pick her.
Really?
I pick Ireland.
I'm gonna stay with my generation and pick Miss Kim Basinger.
It's very hard for me to step away from Kim.
You love her.
She's, to me, the classic Vicky Vale look. I just when I was a little kid seeing her in that, and I just thought she was the epitome of beauty. I just thought she was the most stunning thing.
Can I just say something? I'm turned. Dan has turned me around. I'm no anti-Clint Eastwood. I'm just letting a couple of things.
Yeah, just let it seep in and realize.
I'm going to forget about all the great art. Who are you picking?
I'm going to say Kim because I loved her in 8 Mile.
Playing Eminem's mom?
Yeah.
I bet you've got the worst DVD collection in the history of the world.
Dude, I purged my DVD collection a few years ago, and it was there was some shit in there that, you buy when you're in 5th grade. Why do I own The Italian Job on DVD?
Vito, you're the last vote.
Going Ireland Baldwin.
All right, so 3-2.
A majority rules.
Kim Basinger wins, which, by the way, for a mom probably hurts. I didn't want to beat my daughter in this. I wish you didn't have to choose. Can't you love us both? But I have to say this is
She's stunning, yeah.
shockingly stunning person. And why wouldn't she be? I mean, her parents are,
two great sex symbols of their day.
It's hard to believe, but there was a time that they were the it couple. Alec Baldwin's career was on fire. He was almost Batman, by the way. He was, I think, going to be the second choice to be one of the Batmans. I think he would have been a good one.
I think the Baldwins have a very Batman look. I think they could have pulled it off with their jaw.
I would have used
big heads.
I would have used Steven as the Joker. Now, Chris tried to. This is what I hate when he texts me.
Yeah.
He was trying to get me to watch something or be into something that had to say that the Jokers from Cesar Romero, then Jack, and then
Heath Ledger.
why you interrupt me? I was going to like Heath Ledger like that. Okay. It was going to be really nice. Heath Ledger. They're all three different Jokers. They're not playing the same character as Joker. And you were using comic book logic for this?
It's comic book logic. All right, so this is the logic. All right, so recently in the comic books, they found out that Batman was told that there have been 3 different Jokers. There's not been one person. And the guy who wrote that story is now in charge of the entire DC movie universe.
First of all, did you know that in the comic books they said there was 3 different Jokers?
No, but this is the first comic book to say who the Joker is, because the Batman was able to get into some magical chair and he asked, "Who's the Joker?" And he was told there's been 3 different Jokers
By a magic chair.
By a magic chair.
And you guys were just sitting around making fun of Gran Torino a minute ago. Now, do you fall for the 3 different Jokers?
I don't even think I understand. What
like
is
the Joker wasn't always the same guy. Someone else, after that, something happened to that Joker, another guy became the Joker.
So this is like a great Pirate Roberts thing. Is like you pass it on to another Joker.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. I don't know whether it gets passed on or just taken.
Right.
But if you think of, like, who's everybody's favorite Joker?
I would have to say Heath.
Yeah, Heath. It was the best.
Heath.
And I take Cesar Romero. Now, because I believe he started it all, and you're not going to get any better. I'm sad no one picked Jack.
Oh, gee.
I know.
At the time, before Heath did it, do you remember seeing that and liking Jack in that role?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was one of those people who were like, this is going to be terrible. I thought Heath Ledger was an awful idea. I was like, you're going to pick this. Look, he's a good actor, but he's a pretty boy. He's not going to be able to pull it off.
I don't think anybody saw that coming, by the way.
It was it's
amazing,
shocking, and I think that's why I picked it, because I was one of the people going, this is going to stink. I just thought he was going to be awful.
When I was in the theater in '89 with Nicholson, I was like this through the whole thing. Caesar, Caesar. Because I wanted people to remember Cesar Romero.
And I was obsessed with that Joker.
Yeah, you
Wait
used
till
to
they say hello to me.
Yeah, she used to dress up in Joker clothing and a Joker face.
Yes, I went into my mom's makeup and did like a Joker face and said I wanted to go see the movie. And then they let me dress up, because we did like a midnight showing or a late showing. And they let me dress up as the Joker and did clown makeup. And I was so excited. I was so excited to get to the theater. And when I got there, there were people who were like dressed up like Batman and the Joker. And it was like that Blind Melon video where it's like, she like sees the sea of bees and she's like, oh my God, there's others like, and I was so excited.
Why do you think you never became a Comic-Con person?
I don't know, but it's weird. Especially I like costume. It seems like
Halloween has always been big for you.
Yes, I love Halloween. But yeah, I was completely focused on the Joker. Like Batman was like, yeah, I guess there's like this guy in the movie. But it was just
even to this day, I don't know whether you saw the last Batman. It's a boring character. The Joker is the fucking show.
He is the show.
And the Joker, even though everybody makes fun of DC and says Marvel has a better universe and all that, there's no one. There's no bad guy that fucking compares with the Joker. Lex Luthor is dull. I don't even know who the Avengers go up against. They're outer space aliens. You're talking about a fucking criminal mastermind in the Joker who just wants to see the world burn. That's it.
That's what he wants.
I hate that they keep putting like great actors to play Alfred. I feel like it's the most wasted thing. Like if there's ever a thing that you don't know who that dude is, it should always be Alfred. You know?
Alfred's not even a sidekick. Because he's not out there fighting crime with Batman.
Yeah, but he's the only one who can tell Batman you're fucking up.
Literally just a butler. It's just
he's like a butler, but tells him what to do.
And for some reason, he's really good with technology, too, because he's always like, this is this new thing, a new toy I got you.
From a black guy at work. So do you believe in the 3 Jokers? You think it hasn't been the same Joker?
I believe it hasn't been the same Joker. I've fallen totally into this goddamn theory. Because the 3 Jokers have different personalities. Like the first Joker was like a wacky weirdo. Jack was just a criminal. And then Heath was a total psychopath. It's three different, distinct personalities.
Well, now we got a fourth Joker, right?
Yeah,
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, so we don't know, if this guy's a continuation of the Heath or something totally new.
Can I tell you something? I read this, and they said he's not even in the main story.
No, are you kidding me?
They said he's barely in the movie. This is just one review I read. I don't.
They're pushing his face out there
He's on
like
all the
he's the
posters.
main, like he's
but
the main deal.
I'm telling you, the review. I'm sure you'll see it this weekend.
He's not a main part of the Suicide Squad in general, like the comics, but yeah, he's just kind of like in the movie. He's like a background character. But it's like Inglourious Basterds, when they were putting like Brad Pitt in the front of everything because that's who's going to draw the audiences in.
Brad Pitt was in a lot of Inglourious Basterds.
It was a lot less than you thought it was going to be, though. It was whole lot of Shoshana.
That example sucked.
Yeah, the example does suck.
The Joker's a known character beforehand. Like, the Joker is whatever someone everyone knows. Not everyone
Brad
knew.
Pitt's a known actor.
That doesn't matter. You never heard of
He
a
was
guy
also
doing a
in
cameo?
that movie a lot.
Yes, he was.
Inglourious Basterds.
Anytime that the Bastards were in it, he was in it.
He ends the movie.
But Shoshana was in way more of the movie than he was.
I don't know if that's true.
All right, but you could turn around and look. This is the fucking problem with this. In Silence of the Lambs, right? He was only in the movie, like they said, 19 or 20 minutes. That was like stunning to me because his impact was so gigantic in that movie.
Yeah.
But most of the time they weren't there with him.
And I remember William Hurt was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for History of Violence, and he was only in literally the last scene. It was that Cronenberg movie.
And he didn't even use a Philly accent. It drove me crazy.
Really?
Yeah, because he's like, hey, yo, hey, Bronx, you know what I mean?
That happens so much with Philly.
Hey,
I'm from
yo,
Philly.
where you been, man? Let's go get a hero sandwich.
Fucking Bronx. Now Kathleen's down there spreading that accent around Philly. Doing God knows what. All right, I don't know all this went. I thought we were going to have a big discussion about the three Jokers. I wasn't interested, and I'm going to say it appears that no one else here is interested.
Look, this should have blown everyone's mind.
I think that it's possible, but like it's just a theory. I mean,
Can we do this? Can we take a picture of him and then put fail over it and put it on Snapchat?
Don't.
The Joker's always had different backstories and different origin stories. That's what's like the most interesting about him. You never know who he is and where he comes from. Like the reason I didn't like the Jack Nicholson Joker was because they gave him a backstory, and I think
I didn't like saying I don't need a backstory. A fucking villain is a villain, period.
Right.
What made Heath great and that character was he just kept making shit up about why his face was fucked up.
But that's what the Joker
Yeah, but
does.
you know what bothered me about that? So there's like the rule of 3, and we only
2,
and you only get 2, and I don't know why that irked me forever.
That's why I didn't vote for him.
It's just really.
I didn't vote
bothered
for
me.
him for two things. If it was such a good role, why did he die? And then 2, you got 66% of where you need to be in a rule of 3. And I'm rounding down, as always. I only round down.
But I mean, it could be a great Pirate Roberts thing. I think that it's possible.
First of all, it's all made up anyway, so who
Yeah.
cares?
I mean, you know, it's not a real guy, right?
But that theory is also based on that there's 3 different eras in comic books, which I think that really plays into everything.
That makes Chris look like an idiot now.
No,
Yes,
it
but,
Dumbass.
but in your opinion, it's the same Batman these 80 years,
Yes.
but only 3 Jokers these 80 years.
But different Jokers, yes.
That's where it's an issue.
I don't see an issue there.
Well, because Batman was super silly and outrageous when the Joker was super silly and outrageous, and then
Thank
he's
you.
not super silly.
But
and
we've
outrageous
always
now.
known his backstory. He's always been Bruce Wayne. He's always had Alfred. He's had Robins here and there.
There's never been somebody who worn the bat suit, like even for a time.
Yes, there has.
After he got his back broken by Bane.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that there was some kind of a gimmick there.
I think somebody did step in for him.
I think it was Clint Eastwood.
It was Clay.
I know what you're thinking, Joker. I can talk crazy too. Do you guys like the Riddler at all, or too stupid?
I don't know. All the constant
I like
riddles.
the.
I like the riddles. I like to try
I like
to
the
figure
Riddler.
out because he left the riddle behind.
I was
Riddle
holding,
me this, Batman.
I was holding out for the Johnny Depp Riddler. That was the rumor for many years.
I never once heard that rumor. Yeah.
Disco Dan just made that up.
No, I did not. That was around. Chris.
What Batman villain from the comic books have they not used yet in the movies?
Killer Croc. I believe that was a half man, half croc.
I hope
He
they
wears
never use that
plastic
in the movie.
shoes.
But they haven't used most in the movies.
Yeah, like there's a ton of them in the comic book, and then they kind of keep they'll reboot some of the villains.
But what could be dumber than Scarecrow? That fucking sucked ass.
Well, he likes to make people scared, Ron.
Yeah, I'm very afraid of burlap.
See?
Maybe I am a pussy generation, man.
If it was go time right now, would you go if somebody come after you? Are you ready to fight?
Go time, like
you ready to fight?
You gotta set it up a little more.
You ready to like you're walking down the street, a guy starts to hassle you?
Where am I? New York City streets?
No, you're in Camden.
Camden.
Okay?
Oh, okay.
You're lost. Your car
I did go
broke
to. I was out in Camden last year, actually.
Okay. Are you ready to throw hands if you need to?
Just one other guy. Find one other gentleman.
Yeah. One gentleman.
I'll throw hands.
One gentleman.
One well-dressed gentleman.
Yeah, that would be.
Excuse me for us.
I definitely fight that guy.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten into a fight in like
ever.
Not since like elementary school. I was suspended a few times for getting into fights in elementary school.
I bet you did.
And maybe that's why I am the way I am.
What's that mean, Popeye? Hey, I got a break here. We forgot to plug GPS, but it's...
We did. GPS this Saturday, 3 p.m. East on Deep Tracks, Channel 27, and it's going to be Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
We'll be back. Oh, somebody, by the way, Garth wrote in and said Killer Croc is in Suicide Squad. So your dreams come true. I'm just going to say to him just very, very quickly, Garth, we couldn't get to you, but you are going into the pretty good prize closet.
Yay!
Yeah, because you are the man. All right, we'll be right back. Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Do. Coming up a little bit, we've got a guest stopping in. We've never had on the show before, right?
No, we've not.
Who is it?
It's Carrie Cotted. She's on the new season of Joking Off, which premieres tonight at 10:30 p.m., 9:30 Central on MTV. And she's
the Joking Off show's back.
And she's performing at the Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off show at the Crane Theater in New York City this Sunday, August 7th. Go to carriecotted.com for additional dates.
That's a show I want to see. Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off. I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Even if the comedy's not there for it.
Doesn't matter.
The
visual is there.
But that Disco Dan is an opinionated bastard, huh?
He sure is.
Yeah,
God love him.
God love him. He sure hates the Clint Eastwood. Yeah. What's been going on in your mind, Gail? Where's Gail's head been lately?
In my world? What's going on in Gail's world? My new favorite thing. Well, first of all, did you watch the ladies soccer team?
Yes, I saw some of it, but last night was a veto challenge.
It was a veto challenge. But we started off with a very big win. It's very exciting. But my new favorite thing is the NBA stars who are the Olympic basketball team have decided they are not going to be in the Olympic Village with everyone else. They are renting a giant cruise ship, a huge cruise liner, and that's where they're going to be staying on the Olympics. Like massive, like pools, jacuzzis.
I'm surprised that private people can rent a cruise liner for themselves, but then I guess when they do a gay cruise or a rock cruise, it must be rented out that way. But I think it's a brilliant idea because that village isn't done. And then two, those guys, they're not the same as the other athletes.
But the thing is, if you have that size, why not bring in some of the other U.S. teams?
No. Well, that didn't dawn on me, tell you the truth. Because this is a private thing. The U.S. teams, these are amateur athletes. These guys lived in a different world. It's a rarefied world, you know? They've won something like 56 games in a row.
Sure, I understand they can afford to be in the lap of luxury. And I get it. Who would want to be in the middle of
Zika?
It's not a good look. I'm shocked that anybody agreed to do it. But
now, let's suppose they all went and rented hotel rooms, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't go, why don't they rent hotel rooms for everyone? This is what they got. They got a boat.
Yeah,
That's all. They got a boat.
But if they rented an entire hotel, I would go, come on, you're not using those other rooms.
Look, I guarantee you some chicks are going to get invited over.
Yeah, but they're not going to be athletes. They're going to be just like
No, they say that
brows.
the Olympic athletes have more sex together.
I know.
Than humanly possible. But Chris, this thing that Gail's brought up, is that going to make people hate our Olympic team any more than they do already?
First of all, the men's basketball team is already hated on because we're America. We're winning gold left and right.
I disagree. I think that team is beloved every year, and everybody measures themselves against them. Like, if you're from Yugoslavia, right?
Yes.
This is your chance to play against the greatest athlete in your sport. I think people want to do that.
I think they're sick of America winning all the time.
Why would they be? There's only one way to stop America. Would you want to be in a tournament that the best wasn't there, and then you're told you won the gold, but by the way, you're
there
not
are other
the best?
People out there who didn't show up.
The only way to beat anyone at anything is to figure them out, and they're closer now than they were in '92. I think if Spain beat us, it could happen. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't bet on it, but I don't think we'd be sitting around going, how did this happen? They've got pro players there now. France has some NBA players.
Eastern Europe isn't bad either. I'm just saying they want to win. So they're going to.
That doesn't make sense. No one would want to win something without the best. You want to beat the best, not win a...
Go on and greet the best.
See, you're still there for the Mets. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to win something if the best isn't there because that taints your victory.
And everyone will say it. They're like, yeah, you did pretty good, but the best of the best didn't show up.
And we used to say
why.
that when we used college players. We would say, look, imagine what the pros would do. You're not the best in the world, Russia. You know? We used to say that. But you watch, China is not there yet, but they got 1 billion different people to pick from. Look, when our players go to the World Cup, right? Nothing could be more exciting than us making the quarterfinals. You know what I mean? Then you're like, we're just a couple games away from winning this thing.
It's so exciting, and I think that journey of the U.S. team getting to that place, the journey of the U.S. women's team getting to the place of being number one was so exciting. And that's because you know you're up against the best in the world.
Right. I remember that time our soccer team beat Spain. It was fucking thrilling. And in Portugal, we tied. We tied Portugal.
Yeah.
In the last World Cup, they had to score a goal with a cup. You're not going to feel that way when you're beating fucking, I don't know, the Trinidad Tobago fucking lineup. You know, that doesn't feel that good.
The problem here is that it's going to feel tainted now because the rest of the basketball teams are going to be in that shitty Zyka village.
It doesn't feel. You're just making up stuff.
I'm not making
you know
stuff
what?
up.
You're trying to be the Disco Dan. Of
You're
this.
never going to
It's
be
never
Dan.
going to feel tainted.
I don't
here's
want
the
to be
thing.
Disco Dan.
Just be you. Be Chris. Like whatever
and
that
your logic doesn't make sense
shitty
because
thing is. Do it.
you know there's always a chance that somebody could be getting better digs than you. Like a home team gets to be at their home,
Yeah.
and a away team doesn't. But a home team doesn't win 100% of the time. They do win. I don't even know if being on a cruise ship is going to even help us at all.
It could hurt.
Well, yeah.
They could get up
there
to
could
some
be some bad
real
weather.
shenanigans.
That's true. That thing could fucking turn into some kind of fucking movie. You know what I mean?
I
It's
mean,
like,
Waco in there.
It's good. It's not going to be like Waco. I meant like
Carmelo's going to be
I'm
laughing.
going to say like a sexy party. That's what I'm saying. A sexy party.
hey, let's laugh for a second of Chris trying to play a character where it's going to seem tainted because we had better digs.
Yeah.
You didn't mean that for a second.
Nope.
It wasn't even your voice you were
Yes,
using.
I did mean that. I do mean it. People are going to be looking at
What people?
the people of Brazil and the world fucking population watching the Olympics.
No one is going to think that.
And every single trainer and person dealing with every other Olympic
By the way,
basketball team.
You have zero fucking thought about this. Not everybody stays in the Olympic Village.
Also,
Some people get hotels. Some people, they'll get a fucking Airbnb there.
I don't think that we've ever sat around and compared the accommodations of each team.
Well, now we have to because we're in a goddamn cruise
No one
ship.
ever said fucking Jesse Owens.
Look, all I was saying, all my fucking angle on this is I think it's hilarious, one, and two, why some of the other U.S. teams on the fucking
What do you
ship.
want, shot putter there? I don't
can't
want
hang.
those fucking people hanging out.
They're lame.
Yeah. Sprinters, sure. Bring over some of those hot sprinters. I can't wait for the Olympics. It seems like
I love
everyone is playing it down so much. Like Brazil has done just a terrible job of putting this together. But we'll see. I think you're going to get there and go, this is the Olympics. This is fun.
Same
We're
thing
going to enjoy
happened
it.
like the Winter Olympics with Russia. Everyone's like, "Oh, Russia's fucked. They don't know what they're doing." But it was a fantastic Winter Olympics.
I remember people were saying, don't go. And you were like, shut up. We're going.
It was nice. It was safe. Everyone was happy with it.
A lot of our NBA players are not showing up. LeBron's not being there, which, I know he's saying he's tired, but still, you get a chance to get an Olympic gold medal for yourself.
Yeah, do it, dude.
You should do it.
Steph Curry said no. He didn't want anything to do with it.
Who else said? There's been a few, but even with those guys not there, we still haven't, like I say, an unbeatable team, but unbeatable teams have been beaten.
They have been beaten.
It could happen. Spain could beat us. They pushed us the last couple times, to tell you the truth.
I should have asked Blake when we were together at the Comedy Central party why he wasn't going.
Did you see Michael Jordan saying that Blake Griffin should be the Space Jam
Yeah,
reboot?
I agree. He has great comedic timing and he's awesome.
I'm not saying it.
His
I'm not
commercials
saying it
are
all.
great.
I just think that you saw him and that thrilled you.
Look, that's my new boy. Okay?
That was the fun of Montreal, is that a lot of people who you thought that you weren't crazy about because you're all hanging out together. You're like, I love this fucking
Actually,
dude.
I love this dude.
Yeah.
And he's great. And we're best friends.
I came very close to writing an article about how great the goddamn Comedy Jam was.
We had so much fun at that.
And then I nixed it.
You
I'm like,
nixed
maybe
it.
I was just high on the night,
Yeah, but it was so much fun.
If you were just high tonight, then we were all high together.
I know. Believe me, I should have showed you the first draft. That was amazing.
What's wrong with that sentence, Gail?
It's fine.
Thank you.
I got a text from our good friend Justin, our buddy who we met in Montreal.
We all miss Justin.
And he sent me a picture of him listening to the radio, and this is Baker Street on. And he was like saying how that's always going to remind him of that crazy night.
Magical evening.
It was magical.
He's got a dream about fucking Big J was amazing. I had written all up in the article too about how I didn't even want to go because I didn't.
Yeah.
And I said, you guys, we got to go. Jay keeps asking me. We got to be supportive, but we will slip out as soon as he's done. And we ended up enjoying the entire fucking show.
The whole night was so much fun. Every performance was so funny. And then also just crushing it. Like it's not like they are like, oh, I'm going to do this silly version of this song and play it down. Like there was like 100% commitment.
Oh yeah.
From every comedian.
Hold on, Mark wants to jump in. Believe it or not. And we've got to have a siren for this. Someone is pro Chris Stanley.
Yes!
What?
Mark, what do you got?
I got the feeling that it is going to feel kind of like the rich kid school going to visit like the inner city school when we get down to the Olympics on a cruise ship. You know, like, oh, look who's too good to stay in the villas or in the favelas.
Look, I don't know. I guess you guys have no sense of history, but did you think in 92 Michael Jordan stayed in the fucking Olympic Village?
No. Very true. Very true. But I just think it's just
he was in a
hysterical that it's gonna be
chalet.
cruise ship.
He played golf every day.
I don't doubt that there were individuals, especially when the Dream Team went down for sure. But I just think it's just like kind of hysterical that they're going down on like a cruise ship. I mean,
Well, that's because they don't trust anything that's happening there, and it's because of a lot of the bad press. But a cruise ship, I don't know whether you guys have been on a cruise ship.
Never.
It's not nearly as comfortable as any home you've ever heard of in your life.
It's classy, though.
They're probably buffets.
I don't think that it's like full. You think it's like full staff?
No, they're going to have a tugboat fucking push this thing up. This is more like Project fucking Petticoat or whatever.
By the way, Rooster McDougal wrote to me saying that I kept saying Great Pirate Roberts instead of Dread Pirate Roberts. And that's because everyone's afraid to correct me.
I was afraid to correct you, and
Everyone's
I knew
afraid.
I was pretty
You guys are
freaked out.
so afraid. I wish you guys would do it. I wish you guys would just grow some balls and say you mean Dread.
If
Noted.
seriously, if I had ever seen that movie all the way through, I probably would have known. I probably would have known.
No, you're expected that even if you don't know that something's incorrect, you still should correct someone.
What?
I don't know how, but that's what
I feel like
since
you're
it's-
punishing me for the listeners. I feel like Paul Ryan right now. Cam said this: nobody is going to think that the U.S. for any reason is going to win for any reason other than the U.S. and it is basketball. I'm telling you, first of all, basketball is the fastest growing international sport, but people are catching up because it's that popular. Just like people caught up in World Cup. World Cup to me is the greatest event ever because everybody, this is their favorite sport and they all play against each other. And it's phenomenal. Every country honestly goes there believing they can win. We're not as excited about the Olympics as people are about World Cup. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. The excitement level, and then you think about it internationally too.
All right, what is
that
our,
as big as the Super Bowl could be?
Okay, but here's the thing. What is our favorite sport in this country?
Football.
Football is our favorite sport. Can you imagine how bad we would feel if our fucking champion team got beat by England or France or
I'd
Spain?
vomit.
It would be devastating. And we would hate our quarterback. We would hate our
And
receivers.
you don't have another shot for 4 years.
4 fucking years.
That's why it's so exciting. That's why emotions are so high and everything is just make or break.
Now, I was watching John Oliver when the last World Cup was starting. I'm not even kidding you. He seemed like he was going to throw up every day because the thought that his national team wasn't the best in the world was horrifying to him. Hard Rock Johnny wants to get in touch with us. Johnny.
Bennington's. I don't want to be the correction guy, but the men's team isn't the only one staying on that boat.
Yo, I didn't want to say anything to her. Who else is
Thank
staying
you,
there?
Johnny. I appreciate it.
The
The
Butlers?
girls are staying on that boat.
The NBA
women's
girls?
team.
Yes, and the U.S. Olympic or the IOC is actually staying on there as well. So they have to room up with the International Olympic Committee.
Well,
So it can't be as much of a party.
No, this made me think of something. Are the women always in the Olympics, or is this new?
The
women's basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have any memory of this.
Yeah, I'm sure that.
Oh, I know why. I hit my head really bad.
Oh, no.
I'm worried about
you're
you.
right.
Thanks for correcting Gail. It's got to be done more and more
Thank
by
you.
the outside sources.
I appreciate
And
it so much.
They've also been doing this since 1992 with Charles Barkley and Jordan, the year that
Yeah.
they were there.
It's all coming to a head this year.
See?
Really?
Here's the thing, Disco Dan. You're fucking trying to dig in rather than being a gentleman who's having a conversation.
You're not a gentleman.
No. He's a gentle Ben.
I mean,
And who's excited that they added softball to the next Summer Olympics? Anyone?
Girls softball
Baseball?
or men's?
Girls softball, men's baseball, karate, and I think one other sport
Well,
were
they
added.
had
for-
all those sports were in before.
Yeah, yep, they put them back in.
Have they put wrestling back in?
That happened, yes. And you probably I would guess one of the most prominent Olympic guys this year will be a wrestler from the United States.
Who's that?
One Mr. Jordan Burroughs, going for his second gold medal.
Okay, Jordan Burroughs. Let's keep it on.
Lock it in, write it down.
All right.
So, Johnny, you're going to stay obsessed with the Olympics, right?
Absolutely. I just set up my app for all the sports that I enjoy, and so I'll get alerts when they're on, and the athletes that I'd like to follow.
What is this app?
Jimmy, every time you get that, text me.
You got
Because
it.
I don't want to get my own app.
I'm getting my own app. I don't even have
I
a
got
television.
you. It's the Olympic app. It's the Rio app. It's got everything. You can only set up like 5 sports and 5 athletes. But,
Her name is Rio, and she's setting up an app. Thanks, Jenny.
You're welcome.
Well. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
Wait, let me run and put on my jacket so I can do this the right way.
I saw the picture of you in your jacket. I've never seen it in real life, but I saw you and Chris, and then you and Vito in your jacket. Jeffrey Gurian, when we were in Montreal, was one of the hits of Montreal because he was part of the big Oh Hello show. And that had to be one of the best nights for you, right?
Absolutely. It was, first of all, it was such an honor to be asked to be part of that. And I was so glad that I didn't frame that jacket. You know, I've been meaning to frame it since they gave it to me.
Never frame it.
Well, that was my plan. I wanted to frame it with the poster from the show and a whole bunch of stuff and the newspaper article about it. And luckily I didn't, because when Nick told me to bring the jacket with me, I would have had to break the frame.
You know, you can get a frame with like a little door on it that you can open too.
Can you do that?
Everybody's texting. I look around, the whole room is texting.
I'm not
Isn't
texting.
that amazing?
What are you doing?
I'm just downloading the app.
This quickly? Were you
Yeah.
downloading the app too?
I was downloading the app, the Rio app.
Who are you looking for?
I also had a phone call. I think it was a creditor. I'm not 100% sure.
I'll take that call. And I'll say, try getting blood out of a stone. Jeffrey, how long were you on stage with Nick Kroll and John Mulaney?
Well, the thing was, it started first backstage because they told me to get there like an hour early with my jacket. So after they were finished rehearsing, they decided that they wanted to do a Facebook Live thing, which I had never really done before, and it was fun. So they told me to guard the door of their dressing room, and the store manager.
Yes, that's so funny.
If you went out, you got to go through him.
Right, she had to go through me. I had to okay her entering the dressing room. And then Nick and John did this thing where they introduced me as the head of security. And they're like, if you fuck with us, you have to fuck with him first.
It was hilarious.
And then it's on my Facebook page. If anybody actually wants to see it, it's the first thing on my Facebook page. It was so funny. It was amazing. And they did this prayer. They started doing a prayer for the two of them. They just, they've been working together for so long that they can finish each other's sentences,
Sandwiches.
like old married couples. They're so amazing at improv that it just flows from them. So we did this shoot, and then the theater was so packed that they had to get me seats like on the stage. They put chairs up for me because
that's nice.
There was no room in the audience, and they actually let me film it. I was the only person that got to film Judd Apatow. Pardon me?
Now, the bit, they're bringing this to Broadway, and the big talk is that you're going to be on Broadway.
On Broadway?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if I'll be lucky enough for that to happen.
It's going to happen.
They want me there opening night, but I don't know if I'm going to actually be on stage. I hope that would be so amazing.
I don't know whether you guys saw it. I know Vito didn't because I have to. Jeffrey was with a very attractive young lady in Montreal.
Really?
And I believe you two were, as you always say, shacked up, Jeffrey. Was that true?
No. Me?
Yeah.
No. But why would that be surprising to you?
Well, that you took her all the way to Montreal. I never knew you to be that, you know what I mean?
Smitten.
Yeah.
Actually, she lives in Montreal.
Oh, this is just somebody you see every year.
No, I met her last year, and we decided to get together this year.
They were using what I like to call the secret elevator.
Yes, absolutely, the secret elevator, and it was really a lot of fun. It was great. It was really nice having someone up there, and but I still can't get over the shows and the parties. I mean, I go every year. I've been going for like 25 years.
And you still don't understand it.
Pardon me?
You still don't get it after 25 years.
I still don't. No, I still don't get it. But I did so many interviews. Vito was such a big help, man. And we went and we shot red carpets and got to talk to Seth Rogen. And even Seth, the first thing he said to me was, "Did you see Nick Kroll?"
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was very cool. And I was wearing the jacket, so he really does.
He got a big kick out of that. He saw it all.
Well, because he did Sausage Party, and Nick Kroll has a very big part in Sausage Party. And then we did, the JFL Awards were amazing. J.B. Smoove was the host.
Oh, he's great. Everybody likes him. Hey, Jeffrey, I got a break. I got a guest coming in. Anything you need to plug?
My 2 books are up on Amazon. Yeah, Laughing Legends, and there's a party, and I can invite you and your listeners. This coming Wednesday, the 10th, big party at the comic strip for the book Laughing Legends with an intro by Chris Rock. There's going to be a lot of fun comics performing. And my other book is also up on Amazon now, Man Robs Bank with His Chin, with an intro by Scott Dickers, who created The Onion.
Oh, that's great.
It's a really fun book, and I hope your listeners will check it out.
All right,
both
thanks,
on Amazon.
Jeffrey. Got to go to break.
Thanks. See you guys.
We'll be right back. This is Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Kerry Coddit's in studio. The new season of Joking Off premieres tonight at 10:30 p.m., 9:30 Central on MTV. And Kerry's performing at the Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off show at the Crane Theater in New York City this Sunday, August 7th, and she'll be at Gotham August 9th. Go to KerryCoddit.com for additional dates. And on Twitter and Instagram, it's @OverFab.
Kerry, great to see you.
Great to see you, too. Thanks for having me.
We always hear so much about Kerry. How long have you been doing stand-up, by the way?
Officially?
Yeah.
3 years.
3 years and already on MTV. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Do you like doing the Joking Off shows and all the MTV shows pop up? There's several of them, right? Have you done more than one?
Nope. I've only done Joking Off.
Yeah.
I really like it. It's different from what I'm used to. I did have like an improv background. I went to the UCB and the Pit, so I'm good at like making jokes on the fly. But It's a whole different animal on that show. So it's really intense. It's the hardest I've ever worked at one time at any one thing.
Improv is always funny to me because it's either really great or really awful at any given time.
There's never any in between. It's like it's pass or fail, I think. Always.
Well, it's like going to a wedding. Like sometimes you can go to a wedding, you're going to have a fun night, and other times you're like, what? How can I get out of this wedding? Yeah.
I think the problem with improv is the only people that go out to watch improv are other improvisers.
Yeah, right.
So it's very like incestuous. It's like a circle jerk. It's just like friends of friends, like laughing at their friends.
And in the same way, open mics are the same way when you first start out.
Is that right?
In comedy, it's not like you have an audience or you're getting feedback from people who are you're getting feedback from other open micers.
Yeah.
Or people who are not much farther
So why do the
along.
bars do that? Because enough comics will come out and work out. So they're selling drinks to comics. They're like, I'll give you this space.
Yeah, they don't make any money. They just do it because a lot of the times the bartenders have to be there at 4 p.m. anyway to get ready for like the evening rush. So they're just like, we have the space. So the mics happen at like 3 to 6 p.m. where people
I had
with
no
real
idea
jobs
they were
don't
that
go.
early.
Yeah, they're really early. They're always in a dark club, and comics are broke, so we never spend money. And mics constantly move around and shut down.
How long? It's such a funny lifestyle to get into because. There's a romance to it, but at the same time, the amount of dues somebody is expected to pay in comedy, it could go on for decades.
It really
you never know.
Yeah.
There's nothing fair about it. Like if you're in the Army, if you're there for 12 years, you're going to move up or whatever. But somebody could just start comedy, start doing well right away, while another guy who's good could be doing it for 20 years before anything happens.
That's true. But what I noticed is, and I might be too young to be able to be qualified to make this, but what I learned is a lot of the people that I thought, like, you sit down, you're like, yo, he's so funny. He should be further. Or this person's amazing. But when you get to know them and like see what's happening and you get to learn a little bit more about the business, I'm kind of like, oh, I see why you're not a little bit further along. And it's not being shady, but like I listen to all my tapes. Like if you want to get good, you got to be aggressive at it. I record everything. I listen to them every single night, like right after, and try to work on the jokes. Then there's like the management perspective. There's all these things that people don't do. People don't have quality tape. They don't know to ask for shows. There's all this stuff, and it's like, I kind of get. It took people a longer time to figure that shit out.
Yeah, well, it's a different type mindset. The type of person. It's almost like in two different styles. The type of person who would be so focused on the business while they're also developing their voice.
Yeah,
I think that's a personality.
But I also said this about like Kevin Hart and Dane Cook. Those guys would have been successful no matter what they chose to do in life.
Yep.
which is kind of different from being the class clown. You know, the guy who everybody thought was funny in school, or the amount of work that somebody is expected to do, like Twitter, Instagram, just keep moving. It's a 24-hour day racket.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
Now on Twitter, do you ever, I know you get political on Twitter, do you ever find yourself battling with people, or are you followed by like-minded people?
No, I ignore trolls. In fact, it's very hard for strangers to get underneath my skin.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know you, so your opinion doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt me. Like, if my best friend said something, I'd be like, how dare you? You know me.
Yeah.
But you don't know me personally, so I don't try to take things personally. But what I am good at, if I do respond, I respond satirically. I kind of agree with you. I'm like, you're absolutely right. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then they can't argue with me. And then onlookers, if you're reading my timeline, you won't know that I'm arguing with someone. I'm just like, thanks for your support. Thanks for watching.
I was watching a fight on Twitter yesterday. Scott Baio was fighting with George. Were you watching that?
I was with George Wallace.
Really?
Hours before, because we did Marina Franklin's podcast, and we were just like shooting it for like 2.5 hours, just talking. And right after, I'm like, what is George doing on Twitter? And he's ripping apart Scott Baio. It was the best.
And then I saw Patton Oswalt and Jim Norton jump in as the time was going on. Had you known George before then?
No, I knew him as like a comedy legend, but that was my first time meeting him, and it was amazing.
Yeah, he was up in Montreal when we were there, and he was just holding court wherever he went.
Yeah. We actually took the flight back with him. He was on our flight back. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about him is like he has been doing this so long that I don't think he has a non-comedic way of expressing himself.
Right.
Anymore. Like if he's asking what time the lunch buffet starts, everybody's laughing because it's in the pattern of his stand-up.
Right.
Everything that he says. But that had to be a blast hanging out with him.
It was great. We spoke about Montreal. He told us like what he thought the differences were between the newer comics and the younger comics.
Yeah, he was doing one of the new Faces shows. I think the Unwrapped.
The Unwrapped, yeah.
Yeah. So what was his opinion? What was happening between the newer and older guys?
He said that the younger comics are missing punchlines. And I was like, is that shade, George Wallace? Like, did you just play us? And then we talked about like the showmanship of it. People forget that it's the show and the business. Like people just stand on stage now. Like we talked about alt comedy just being this detriment to the comedy community. He's just like, I don't know what it is. But he's like, maybe I'm old. I'm not hip. And then he gave us some pointers on like what to do when you're in a packed audience and how to connect with everyone at the top of the crowd to the back. It was awesome.
Well, you know, Jim Norton just said the same thing to me. He said with the younger guys, he said younger comics write one joke where there could be 9 there. You know what I mean? Like they just will get up, they have their premise, there's a laugh, then they go into another premise. And like, you know,
instead of like working on one bit
like,
as a
jokes leading up, the punchline, and then tag. But it seems to me that a lot of the younger comedians like just to discuss themselves, like they're with their friends, and some people kind of connect to that. But with an old school comedian, it's always a performance level thing. And maybe it's because they never had social media and, you know, interacted with their audience at all.
Yeah, you might be right, because the younger comics storytell more. And the older comics are observational. It's like, do you ever notice this? This is the way that the world works. This is my perspective. I'm observational. So.
Are you observational? Yeah. Now, we were talking election. Are you involved in this election, or you're not happy with either choice, or what's happening?
I'm not happy with either choice.
Yeah.
I'm becoming more involved. I decided it's not enough to sit on the sidelines and complain and not know what's going on.
But that's where I want to be.
Yeah, that's where I'm so comfortable. But I talk so much crap. I'm like, I got to be informed. Like, you can't be like, this is terrible. You got to know why it's terrible.
Yeah.
So the past couple of months, I've really been just doing a lot of research, trying to figure out exactly how the legislative system works. Why does it work the way that it does? How can we make it work in our favor? And what is going going on? What is the breakdown that allowed this to be what is happening right now?
You feel like it's a complete breakdown of the system? Because I'm hoping. I've lived a life, and I'm ready for the apocalypse. I am ready for it to be done, because I want to put just a little period on the end of this whole deal. America, it's over. We move on. What's next?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's how I feel. I'm just absolutely... I don't like Trump, and I'm not on board with Hillary the way that I'm being told I should be. So, it's going to be a tough decision come November.
There's third parties. You got the Green Party, and then you got the Libertarian Party. The guy from the Libertarian Party seems like he operates a Hooters in Fort Myers. I mean, there's nothing. I think if Ron Paul was running this year, there might be a 15 or 20% or even more going his way. But this guy is just dull as dishwater. And I don't know much about Jill Stein in the Green Party. Do you know much about her, Gail?
I really don't. I don't have a lot of information on her. I think that because Bernie was such a strong candidate in a place where that used to be on the outskirts, like those people used to kind of be on the outskirts and small, in small numbers. So they would have been focused more on him, and he wouldn't have got attention. So I think to have somebody who got that far on the national platform, a lot of attention went to him.
Why didn't Bernie run third party? This would have been the time.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't have got this far on a third party.
You don't think?
No, he wouldn't have been invited to any of those debates. He wouldn't have been on the.
We don't know. It's coming on strong.
But they don't invite them. I mean, it's.
We don't know. All they got to do is pull 15%. That's it. 15%. I might even be able to get there with a call. I just don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't put anything together yet.
I mean, in the past, the candidates who ran that way, I think have never been able to get that kind of attention because the system is set up where you only have an either or. Right. You have either or party and eventually either or candidate.
But I don't think that, when I was younger, there was a few third party people that got huge amounts. Jesse Jackson was in the double digits. And then now I forgot the guy who ran in 92.
Ross Perot?
Yeah, Ross Perot was 17, 18%, I think. So all those people would have been invited, but I don't know if either one of them this year are exciting to people. What do you guys think? All right, I'm going to ask you, Chris, because you don't vote all the time, or you do?
No, I don't vote all the time.
What's the number one issue in America for you?
I'm going to say income differential.
Really?
Yeah, it's the number one issue.
So you want to go after the one percenters?
Yes.
What is it for you, Gail? Do you have one?
Ooh, I like above all else, maybe the prison system. Maybe might
really
be maybe number one.
You want to see the prison system what? Larger?
Yeah, just greater. Just like
more prison.
Let's get the majority in there.
Yeah. I think maybe if they built more. Right, so prison system number one for you. What about for you, Carrie?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Really?
Like for the first time, you stole my answer. You took the words out of my mouth. Prison system. We have to deprivatize prison systems because that goes along with for-profit policing, and it goes along with police brutality.
Yep.
So
it's kind of at the core of that issue that I think a lot of other things radiate from.
Yep.
How
could you imagine if we fix that though and start having to lay off people? Because there's a lot of people who work there now.
Yeah, I read an article. There was some town, I forgot where it was, someplace down south, and they started. They were losing prisoners, so they weren't policing people as much, so they weren't locking up people as much. And the mayor was like, I don't have any money. This is affecting my livelihood, and we need more people in these prisons so I can feed my family.
Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, you can look at it on a smaller scale.
Pardon?
And the fact that we raise money in New York by ticketing cars. It's not that cars are a huge problem and that they move over to the other side. It's just that income is counted on.
Yeah.
Every single month to keep the city running.
And it's unfortunate that that type of symbiosis kind of ends up happening where at the expense of human people, like human lives. You know what I mean? Like, as much as it's like, yeah, that would be terrible to lose these jobs, you kind of have to weigh out the options there and say, okay, what other solution can we do with it?
All right, Vito, what about for you? What's the number one thing?
For me, it would be like the price of healthcare and healthcare as a corporation, because like one thing,
You're
like
voting for Trump. How would you? Why would you just take in Bernie and Obama's number one thing and then still be a Trump voter?
'cause I like everything else Trump is saying, but this one thing really makes.
What does he say?
Yeah, what has he said that he likes? The wall?
He loves walls.
I really like walls. I have 4 in my home.
Look, if you...
I knock down my girlfriends every night. I love them.
Let me tell you, if you live in New York City, the one thing to do is thank Mexican people because they keep the city running. I mean, you don't go to any restaurant, any kind of stuff in the city without those very nice short guys who are busting their ass.
But if the wall makes, I mean, it's just harder to get over here.
Wall.
If it's harder to get over here, then they'll be even more happy to be here.
That doesn't make sense, dude. But your number one thing is healthcare.
Yeah, I've seen how much my mom has struggled with it, and I see how much like a burden it was to like pay for both of us, and how companies like the loopholes of not having a full-time employee. Like if you work 30 hours a week, you're not full-time and you don't have to get health insurance, and how expensive everything
I've always been curious of why the corporations ever let themselves get tied up with healthcare anyway. It's like, what you're like, why can't the government take it? You never see anyone go, why don't you guys take care of healthcare so I don't have to sit around and think about all my employees and giving them health care. Doesn't make sense to me.
It's strange that that system ended up that way, where you're tied into employment and health. Although, with Obamacare, it's a move in the right direction to, make it that option not entirely tied. But then we didn't get the public option, so it's not quite there yet because.
Hey, do you think we'll keep the name Obamacare as the years go by? I wonder.
Because it started as a negative. It started as, Obamacare. And then he just started calling it Obamacare. Then we're like,
does he say it?
Because, he started saying it. And he's like, you know what? Now I love the name. And he actually said it that way. He's like, I like it now. Obamacare. That's 2 positive things together. I love it. Let's call it Obamacare. And it was such an amazing way to
he
take
took the power back.
Completely.
Just like he did with the N-word. That's what he did. That's Obamacare's word. He's like, nice try.
Because I've never heard him use it. Or did he say it on Mark Maron's show?
It's even the logo. Like I was on Obamacare before I got the insurance here, and like, it says Obamacare. I'm all about it.
You were on Obamacare?
Yeah, dude, $1 copays.
Is that right?
I was doing $1 copays and all those urgent cares. I didn't even have a copay for my medicine.
How did you end up wearing that stupid Trump hat then wherever you go? Because that's the first thing Trump said he's going to get rid of.
I mean, I like everything else about him. This is the one thing. I mean, I like that he was on The Apprentice.
This is the one thing. The most important thing to me is the one thing.
I like my Trump doll. I like my Trump board game.
I'll tell you. I'm going to tell you guys how Trump, and even though he's trailing by 10 points right now, and his things, he could get elected based on ISIS. If there's because I think people have just about had it with terrorism. Like, we cannot fucking stand terrorism anymore.
Well, it's starting to get annoying.
Yes, it is. I don't want to go places and start looking for an exit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just want to go places and be there.
Yeah, but then it's strange. Like, we put the focus on that, and yet, then you can kind of shirk away from this idea of gun control and what's happening domestically in this country.
No, I get that completely.
And I mean, most of the scary stories that we've heard in the last couple years have been Americans with guns.
I understand, but I'm saying I hate ISIS more. I really do. Maybe it's
they're downright unlikable.
There's nothing about them. And by the way, they're not nice to women. They're not nice to gays before they even get to anything else.
Oh, yeah.
They'll put a gay in a cage over there and drop them in the water.
Oh, they're a bunch of prickly pears. They really are.
Thank you. That's what they are. They're prickly pears. Every one of them. But they're annoying the shit out of me.
But that is the kind of stuff, if you hit home and say, this is the thing I'm going to focus on.
But fear is a big motivating factor.
I'm more annoyed by the people that I see every day around me. Like, ISIS sucks, but there's also people around that are doing that right now that I want to take care of first.
I got news for you. I think some of them are ISIS. They just busted a cop in D.C. who they said was tied in with ISIS.
A cop?
Really?
Yeah, he was a D.C. transit cop. Got busted yesterday. We need to break here, Chris, or we got a little time?
We have first the new season of Carrie Codd's in studio.
You're right. You need to plug away.
And
that was my fault. I was talking too much.
It's okay.
No, we want to plug away.
The new season of Joking Off premieres tonight at 10:30 p.m. 9:30 Central on MTV. Carrie's performing at the Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off show at the Crane Theater in New York City this Sunday, August 7th.
And I'm not coming.
And this will be at the Gotham Comedy Club August 9th. Go to carriecoddit.com for additional dates.
Now, are people taking their clothes off?
It's a burlesque show. It's part burlesque, part
I love
comedy.
burlesque, yeah.
Yeah, the first time I did it, I was like, this might be obvious, but do I have to take my clothes off?
How can I do it at the end of my set?
Yeah.
I don't want to follow that. Burlesque is great, though.
Yeah, it's very fun.
I do like more variety to a show. I'm glad that there are more variety shows. Like I like to go after. Yeah, I like that. I don't know what this next act is going to be. You know,
juggler.
But those are the same thing if you go to like a strip club. You don't know what the next act is going to be. You don't know what trick she's going to pull out of.
Portia to the stage, please. Portia. By the way, I think that if you're a stripper, you should be forced to strip under your own name.
Why?
I think it's cheating.
Own it.
Yeah.
Coming to the stage, Beth.
Agnes to the stage.
Just realized I have one of those names. Gail. That's like old lady stripper name.
You're not happy with your name?
I'm happy with it. I think it's a unique name.
That's my mom's middle name.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's unique though. It's very rare that someone says Gail and then they say which Gail.
Do you know
Gail.
that I wanted to call you Annie and didn't use your middle name? And I thought Annie was a great name.
My mom's first name is Ann.
Oh my God, I'm starting to freak
Wait,
out.
She's Ann Gail?
She's Anne Marie Gail.
And I'm Gail Ann.
Yeah,
Weird.
people just call her Ann, so it's like.
I love the name Annie. I always have.
I mean, you guys could start calling me Annie if you'd like. I'm open to it.
Ann's my middle name.
Now, Vito, do you have a name for a kid that you would give a kid? Or is it just Vito?
No, I'm thinking, I don't want to name my kid Vito. I hate my name.
You do?
Really?
Vito's great.
Because I wasn't named after a family member. I was named after the fucking Godfather, and that really makes me mad.
That's
I
awesome.
think that's cool.
No,
That's
I
way
think that's
cooler.
bullshit. My mom could have. It just makes me mad thinking of the other things that came out around that time.
Name
that
your
my
kid
name
Sonny.
could have been. My name was almost Sonny. It was either going to be Vito or Santino, and I would have
How
liked
much
Sonny
did
way
your
better.
parents love The Godfather?
Oh my
It was their wedding
God.
song.
Really?
They
No.
came out to the Godfather theme. Yeah, that was their
Get
wedding song.
out.
Do they understand that this is a criminal movie?
They don't give a fuck.
They must be really disappointed that you're not in crime.
They saw The Godfather 3, and they went home and they wrote their own version because they were so disappointed by it.
Do you still have it?
I don't know where it is. I don't know
Please
where.
find
Please find it, and then we'll reenact
By the way,
it.
did you see that John Gotti's son got busted today for selling oxys in Queens? Now, here's the thing. You guys remember when they did the Gotti?
Growing Up Gotti.
Yeah, where they were all like cute kids. Go to the Post and look what he looks like. I didn't even know it was him. Did you start writing Growing Up Gotti to me? Why? Why would you type that at me? By the way, aren't we glad that we know about this Vito story? I'd never heard that before.
I love it. But Vito, I think it's a cool thing.
I like Santino way better. I would have liked being called Sonny. It was either Santino, Vito, or
should have been.
Carmine.
Imagine if it was Sonny.
I like Carmine.
Carmine's a cool name.
Yeah.
Carmi.
Sonny, though?
All right, look at this kid. Now, first, find the before picture, Chris, so they can say when he did his TV show how he looked like a happy little Italian kid. You know, like those kind of metrosexual Italian kids.
Sure.
His eyebrows were well done.
Yeah. Just cream in his face
Gel.
I
constantly.
hate men that are better looking than me. It's over.
Well, his big line was, don't touch my moose, he said to his brother.
Right,
So
he's on
that's
the right.
him.
There he is there.
He's very Jersey
Yeah.
Shore looking.
Yeah, and that's pre-Jersey Shore. Jersey Shore. Now, look at him today, and he's only 23.
Oh, no.
Look at him here.
Oh my God.
That's him at 23.
He's hit the bricks hard.
Guys,
He looks like a
good.
totally different dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'd sleep with that dude.
that one?
The one with the gel, I'm all set on. But this guy with the tattoos and
Yeah.
the tight T-shirt, I'm here for it, guys.
Okay.
All right. So how long he gonna be in jail for?
He needs a pen pal.
The thing is, I'm sure he can actually bring friends in when he goes. You know what I mean? They get their own food, the guys
Sure.
and
They get
stuff
perks.
like that. Yeah, they get a hot plate that they could cook with. So you're turned on by guys with tattoos. That's part of your thing.
You know, Not necessarily, but on him it looks good. Like I don't have a preference, but I don't mind.
Do you have a preference about any kind of person? Something that you're looking for, a weakness, if you will.
Tall guys with a nice smile, and they have to be funny.
All right,
I'm already thinking about someone.
Really? I think it's George Wallace.
Nailed it.
How'd you know?
All right, let's break and come right back. Plug away, Chris.
Carrie Coddit's in studio. The new season of Joking Off premieres tonight at 10:30 p.m., 9:30 Central on MTV, and she's performing at the Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off show at the Crane Theater in New York City this Sunday, August 7th. She'll be at Gotham Comedy Club August 9th, and go to carriecoddit.com for additional dates.
By the way, Carrie's stunning.
She's
stunning woman.
Oh,
She's a beauty.
Yeah, right back. This is Bennington.
Welcome back to Bennington. Carrie Coddit's in studio. The new season of Joking Off premieres tonight at 10:30 p.m., 9:30 Central on MTV. And she's performing at the Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off show at the Crane Theater. That's Sunday, August 7th. Go to carriecoddit.com for additional dates.
Carrie was just saying something as she came back. You said you would never date a comic.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose. You've never have? Never?
No, I never have.
Yeah.
Never messed with a comic. Never dated a comic.
But if the opportunity came up, would you say absolutely not because of that?
No, well, I don't have any like hard and fast rules, but I try not to walk right into the fire.
Right.
So I haven't heard great things about it. It'd have to be a very special guy that's not threatened, which is hard because comics are insecure by nature.
Well, let's think of comics that we know that are together.
Bonnie and Rich.
Yeah. Bonnie and Rich. And now Bonnie had said to me, I don't see how anybody couldn't date a comic because you get to sit around and talk about comedy, and that's all I want to do anyway.
It does make sense.
Yeah.
At the very least, you're always going to have... Well, then there's also, if you have that kind of a gig where it's hard for other people to relate to, it's great to say, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You never get into that frustrating thing where you say, oh, you wouldn't really understand what this feels like.
You don't get it.
Right, but it's different when you're a woman and if you're more successful. Like, it'll be hard for my guy to open for me. Like, if I'm doing Madison Square Garden and I'm like, baby, can you open for me? He's gonna be like, you bitch! Like, I don't want you watching my dreams. Like, I'd rather you watch another girl than you watch my gigs. You know what I mean? I don't want that.
But here's the deal. Bonnie's way more successful than Rich.
Yeah, she is.
Books, TV appearances, specials.
People like, Rich who? Rich McFarlane?
Oh, my God. Oh, God, I hope he's not listening now. We'll drive off the road.
We love you.
Yeah, it's like a little roast. We're doing like a little roast here.
We roast because we love.
Tom Segura.
And Christina Pajitsky.
Yeah.
They're both fantastic comedians.
Joe List and Sarah Tolamash, both comics.
They're getting married, yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, it can happen. They just have to be special,
Yeah.
It's just... But...
Pete Lee.
And Emily Tarver, yeah.
Both hilarious.
Sam Morrell and Beth Stelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, almost every single time I think the woman's funnier, though. I'm trying to go through... I'm now starting to see the problem with this. Are there any two gay comics together? That would be exciting. That's the next glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Not Hillary being elected. It's going to be two gay comics doing a show.
Like Ellen and Wanda Sykes.
That would be fantastic.
Oh my God. I would love that.
Yeah. Who would you put as the closer, though? Ellen's more well-known, but I don't think she can follow Wanda.
But Wanda's a closer.
Yeah.
Like, Wanda's such a closer.
By the way, Wanda has that George Wallace thing of everything.
Everything she says is funny. Because she's just like...
That speech pattern, whatever she does.
Everything she says, she talk like this. What you talking about? It's great. I love her.
She's one of those people. She worked, I think, for like the FBI or something, like as a secretary for like 12 years, some long period of time before she started doing stand-up.
I could see that. She can wear a pantsuit.
Yes. But can you imagine if you worked next to her and you would see her in the break room because you know she was a scream?
You're like, really funny person I work with.
Chris, could you ever see yourself with another producer?
No, I couldn't.
If
like
you
Vito?
it would be Vito.
No, we look too alike. It'd be too weird.
That would be so cute, though.
That's the thing, though. That
really
happens sometimes.
Jumping so much into it, Vito. It makes me feel uncomfortable.
That happens sometimes in the gay community.
Yeah.
There's like a whole
Dude,
Tumblr.
That's my favorite thing.
There's
I always
a
crack
Tumblr
up.
of like, it's like my twin boyfriend or something like that. And it's just like guys saying like, look at how much me and my boyfriend or me and my husband look alike.
Boyfriend twin.
Boyfriend twin.
We could get in on
my
this.
God.
All right, let's judge some of these guys.
Like this could be
How
Chris and Vito.
narcissistic.
That's what I always think immediately.
When somebody says, go fuck yourself, you're like, I am every night. That's what
And I love it.
All right, those two guys actually share underwear, though.
Yeah.
I mean, their underwear is exactly the same.
And like that looks like a mirror image. Like that looks like someone hugging a mirror.
Now, you don't see this with lesbians, right? It's more of a guy thing. And I do think narcissism...
I think it's pretty rare. I think more often you see two lesbians who have like really great style together. Like they like complement each other. But I don't think it's as common as saying, oh, those two women are identical and that's why they're dating.
That does make sense that they would have great style together, though.
Yeah, like they seem to complement each other well. Like they're in the same lookbook.
What?
These are the two that Biden just married the other day at the White House. No, it's Biden.
Like
It is.
twins.
Biden
It
did
really
this. Yes, he
Oh,
did
it
the
really
first
is.
gay
Yeah.
wedding. I think he did it in the White House.
Oh my
though.
God, I thought that was just like a serious Biden lookalike.
I'm really progressive and I can get on board with a lot of things, but this just isn't it. You
Just
can't.
the twinning.
Sleeping with someone that looks like you is really gross. Come on.
Chris, get to the good ones. We don't want from behind.
Look at this one.
That's intense.
That's Twink Central.
No way.
That's like, yeah.
Nah. Nope.
Oh my God, no. That was too much. And like, they both have a very specific look. Like, the dudes before that, you're like, okay, that's a standard look that a lot of times, like, there's like some gay dudes, like, that's a type. This is like a very specific,
this
like,
is
one
no
of
one's
you,
type.
Yeah.
Like, no one.
Like, one of you needs to shave or one of you needs to cut their hair. Like, you have to discuss it and go, okay, we can't both be rocking like these long curls with like medium length beards.
This is, no.
It's a thing. It is a thing.
That's why there's a Tumblr.
Great. This is
like, you can't go to the same barber.
At least not on the same day. That's really weird. Give us
I'll
the
have what
each.
he's having.
Yeah. But do you think it's weird to share clothes?
No, I think like that's a convenience.
Yeah.
Like again, like I said, complimentary style is fine.
This dude's banging his own brother, though. Look at
That's
that.
his little brother peering over his shoulders. Like, this is not okay.
I had never... Look, you don't even know where the beard and mustache starts and ends. That's a dude kissing a mirror.
That is.
That has to be. Oh my God.
They all need to get over themselves. This is too much.
Why are these guys wearing their beards the same way?
That's what I said. I was just like, look, at the very least, just... I also feel strongly, and this goes for straight couples and gay couples, you can't both leave the house with a fanciful brim tat. If it's your brim tat day, the other person can't wear a brim tat. That's just, and I don't care. I don't care if one of you is wearing like a fedora and the other one's wearing a bowler.
Strange policy to
I just
have.
feel like two fanciful hats leaving the house together. It's your hat day or my hat day. It can't be both. So I feel the same with beards. I feel the same with beards.
What about straw hats at the beach? You're down in the Caribbean. Don't you each get a nice straw hat?
So you're talking about a floppy hat. One person's wearing a floppy, like, summer hat.
I hadn't really thought about this. But
And then the other one's wearing a...
Yeah.
Yeah. I might consider that as long as the floppy hat is very extremely different.
What
than the
about
brim
cowboy hats, though? Because those are always in pairs.
Okay, that's a good call.
I'm with that.
I'm going to say, I understand where you're coming from, but I still think the rules might apply.
What if you're in Texas?
And
So a man and the woman are walking down the street both wearing cowboy hats together?
In Texas. It makes sense.
Unless it's functional.
Did you never see John Travolta and his girlfriend Sissy each going out to wear their cowboy hats?
Cowboy hats, fine. Cowboy hats can pass. But a fanciful brim tat for style purposes, I think it's great that you both enjoy hats, but one of you has to pick a hat.
What about top hat?
Here's what annoys me.
Yeah, that's a fanciful brim tat.
What if you're Jewish?
The women, I don't think, wear the hat there, right?
No, they wear a...
And that's the same with Catholics. A man has to take his hat off, and a woman... Well, they don't do it anymore, but when I was a kid, you had to have something on your head, and I saw a nun go after a little girl crazy, and then they bobby pinned a napkin to her head.
I had
yeah,
I've seen that.
My great grandmother had a church that was still very traditional in that way, and I got like a doily pinned to my head on the way to church. Like they actually just bobby pinned an actual doily to my head.
When did you go to church?
You were going to church behind his back.
I don't know. I think it was an Easter. I believe it was an Easter.
Yeah, I'll give up Easter.
But
yeah. I just didn't want to around those people unless I was there.
Carrie Connett's in studio. The new season of Joking Off premieres tonight at 10:30 p.m., 9:30 Central on MTV. And she'll be at Gotham Comedy Club August 9th. Go to carrieconnet.com for additional dates. And on Twitter and Instagram, it's @overfab.
Yeah, I'm going to give you one more. What if you're both on the same softball team? Can you wear hats?
Yes. I guess there are exceptions.
Urban cowboy
but I will
and
say
baseball hats.
that I started this conversation with a fanciful brim hat. And I started it there. And we could go into specifics, but I stand by the fanciful brimmed hat, which is a bowler. It would be like a fedora, like one of those, like
pork
one
pie.
pork pie.
Pork pie hats. Yeah, you can't have two pork pie hats.
Exactly.
That
If
makes
you're
you a
both
douche.
walking out,
It's
if
too
you're
much.
both walking out with wearing a pork pie,
Let me tell you,
you're gonna look crazy.
Yeah.
You're gonna look crazy.
But if you can even pull off the pork pie look, you're a lucky, lucky person.
I have a pork pie.
Yeah, well, you look good in hats. That's lucky for you. There's some people, Chris, your hats are never...
It always looks odd. I have a giant head. I have a fucking size 8 head. So it's hard for me to even find hats that fit me. That's why I stick to bandanas mostly, at least in the summer months.
Yeah, and even then, like, you can see the strain. Like, you can barely tie the knot.
That's right.
That elastic popping.
Dude, I had on Ray Kelly's kids show today, whatever his name is.
Greg Kelly?
Yeah, they do the Fox thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like right near me, so I could have went over, and they had a bunch of bikers there. And he says, "Can I have a ride on the back of your bike?" Which a man doesn't do. And then he had a helmet on that stuck. It looked like it was just on the top of it and way up. And then he goes to the guy, "Where do I put my arms?" And the dude riding, he goes like this. "Just hold them out like this while I drive."
Don't touch me.
But when you have a head that a helmet won't fit on,
it's rough.
Would you put a helmet on not knowing, or would you have to say, "Let me try this helmet on with nobody around before I put it on"?
I'd have to put with no one around. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's a giant fucking head I have.
It's that big.
Yes. I can't buy hats in a hat store. Like they sell hats that are like one size
can't go
fits
to
all.
Lids?
Hey, not mine. Not my fucking head.
All right, easy, dude. Everybody's on your side here. Isn't there some big and tall hat section, some special store?
I mean, I haven't.
He's just waving his head around. It looks like a weapon. I'm scared.
Don't be. Everything's fine.
Kid, move.
He's gonna cry himself to sleep tonight on his huge pillow.
Here's John in Florida.
Hey there, Ron.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. I got some sad news down here in Florida today. Longtime radio host Dave McKay was found dead in his apartment.
Oh, that is terrible news. And what happened?
They don't know. They just he didn't show up for work, and they went and checked him out at his apartment, and they found him.
He was at QYK?
Yeah.
Our buddy Eric Logan used to be I believe he was general manager of that station. That's just awful news. One of the good guys.
Sorry to bring down the show, Ronnie.
All right, thank you for calling with that, though.
All right.
Peace.
All right,
yeah, that country station down there is incredibly big, and he's been the morning guy there at least since the early 90s.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, I remember his name well. Like he was definitely
because it rhymed with Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and everybody will like that. You're very lucky if your name rhymes with the community.
Dave McKay in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I know a guy named Bill Cincinnati, and I can't tell you how that has worked for him. Man, that hat story, I don't know how we went from gay guys looking alike and dating to just what hats can be worn.
Well, it came from
gay men. You think fashion?
Yeah, yes. And my point was, I feel like you have to have the same conversation about the beard. Oh, what are you doing? You're doing a goatee. Maybe I should do something different. Oh, you're doing full beard. Maybe I should do no beard at all.
Well, do
I feel
you
like you've got to?
right, let me just say this. Do you think the gays have the same fashion sense that they had years ago? Because we're going to have a very famous film director on. I'm not even going to say his name tomorrow, who I think has that unique look that I used to think of gay people when I was younger. But now I will see gay guys with baggy shorts. You know what I mean? Walking through.
My gay friends are my most well-dressed friends.
They're still the most well-dressed, right?
Absolutely. And they're the most fashion-minded.
All right, what about...
And God help you if you're not.
What about bears? I think I'm thinking of bears.
Yeah, bears are out there. They're still... yeah, these guys.
I think
those two dudes.
Yeah. I think there's all different kinds of gay guys.
Yeah.
And they fall on the spectrum. Like, I know people that dress god-awful hideously. Like, you know, they just don't care how they look. And then I know ones that dress better than me.
Exactly. So, that's probably it is now... Because of it being a more accepting environment.
That's the sad thing of acceptance.
They're coming out of the woodwork.
It becomes
They're losing
normal.
their identity.
Yes, it becomes normal.
Anybody could just be gay now.
I'm also gay, and I like wearing basketball shorts everywhere.
I will say this. When I was younger, no gay guy looked like Tim Dillon under any circumstances.
Right. But here's the thing.
And he's voting Obama.
They did, but those guys weren't out. So the only people who do look like that were the people that you're like, this guy's clearly gay. Those were the guys who stood out.
Right.
So
the guys that couldn't hide it.
That could never hide it in a million years.
Well, we're having one of those dudes on.
Yeah, Tim, you just wouldn't know.
Yeah, he just drops it himself somewhere, and you're like, wait, excuse me.
That's right. I suck cock. Look at me. I'm from Long Island. Okay? Get over it. I love Tim Dillon.
Yeah. He just, by the way, he blew up Montreal.
I know.
He was like one of the main things that people would bring up.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah, he is great, but he does look like he's on his way to put out a fire, no matter what he's doing. You think there's still as much pressure in the gay community to look good? Are they still? Because no one has judged women harder than gay guys, especially guys on TV. Those fucking guys are vicious.
Yeah, I
think the red carpet.
I think that there is still like an inner circle that, you know, the club kids and like the kids who are, you know, going to turn their nose up at you if you're older or you're overweight or whatever the thing is. Like that definitely still exists within groups.
But I think the older gay guys are very comfortable with themselves now. Like they don't give a shit.
Right. Especially because it's like easier to find like-minded people. Like there's a scene out there for everybody.
And apparently if you go by this picture, like shaped.
Yeah.
I don't know if being bald with that bushy of a beard works unless you're a lumberjack.
That's a
full
classic.
Commando to winter.
The guy on the left looks like Sean Donnelly.
I actually thought it was.
I was like, oh my God, Sean's been outed. Do you guys?
That would be hilarious. You just show up. That's the way you get known.
I saw your boyfriend, twin.
What do you mean you saw my boyfriend? Well, I'm going to impersonate every comment.
Yeah, that'll be it for you. Like, do you think Vito would do okay in the gay community?
I was told by my gay friends I would do really well because they always want to bring me to a gay bar and I thought it would be cool because like I don't get, you know, like girls will come over and buy me drinks at bars. What? So I'd love to get the opposite and walk into a gay bar.
You saying women never hit on you?
Yeah. I never get approached. I got to do the approaching.
I got it.
So I'd like to feel the love.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't relate. That's unfortunate.
Do you think that and they said you would get approached?
They said I would get approached a lot because I'm fair.
Because you're a type. You fit into a very specific.
But I thought that Fez was a type, and he said he never was accepted.
Or maybe he was surrounding himself in the wrong groups.
Oh, he was shooting high. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you there.
I mean,
it would be like me going to spring break. Hey, what's up?
Maybe what he needed to do was get himself a boyfriend twin. Maybe that's what.
I don't think that turns him on. He's never been turned on by that.
He wants twins. He wants a twink.
Yeah. A twink is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
A twink is the young.
It's like
attractive, in
young,
shape.
yeah, very boyish, but fit.
Yeah.
clean, like, you know, like.
Yeah, hairless.
That is a boy.
Hairless boy.
Yes, that's exactly it.
That's a twink.
A child, but not.
Right. Barely legal.
Not prepared for that.
Yes.
Barely legal.
Are there any twinks that aren't that young? Can you be a 30-year-old twink?
I'm gonna Google older gay twink.
That's a twonk. That is a twonk. It's over 30.
This is impressive.
Okay.
Sex.
Okay, you're blushing. Oh my goodness.
Just find a safe for work one.
All right,
just comb through those images.
This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, why? Because so many people are around this time?
This time was right.
He normally does this
used to a crowd when he's looking at these sites.
He's normally going to the bi-cuck site.
No, that's
actually underrated.
No, come on. No, stop.
I'm sorry. We're on a fucking list now, dude.
Where are you, the deep?
That's a 9-year-old Filipino boy. Like, cut it out.
I found it.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
You were supposed to find out.
Yeah, and we didn't want to see that.
Carrie Cottage in studio. The new season of Joking Off premieres tonight.
Don't even say joking off anything.
10:30 p.m. 9:30 Central on MTV. She's performing at the Stand Up and Take Your Clothes Off show at the Crane Theater in New York City this Sunday, August 7th, and she'll be at Gotham Comedy Club August 9th. Go to carriecottage.com for additional dates. And on Twitter and Instagram, it's @overfab.
Well, Carrie, what everybody said about you was right. You're delightful. I'm so glad you came by today. I'm going to be watching tonight.
Yeah. Tune in, everyone. It'll be great.
Yes. Tune in on your tuner. There we go. We're still... Why is there just space up on that thing?
That's your background?
I had to close... It's background. It's wallpaper. I had to close out of all the gay twink porn.
Do me a favor. Take a hammer to the hard drive.
Yeah.
Please.
You got to drill holes into it.
That's it for us. GPS on...
This Saturday, 3 p.m. East on Deep Tracks Channel 27. It's going to be Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
Muscle Shoals, Alabama, one of the greatest music scenes of all time. Maybe my favorite in America. Great singers. Great players. So be part of that. We're in for Opie tomorrow, so you'll hear us at 7 a.m. Gail, 7.
Yeah.
Chris, 7.
I'm there.
Not 8:30.
I'm there.
You're on time.
I'll be on time.
7.
7 in the a.m.
White people be late too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, these two. These two.
I sleep in sometimes.
Not 8:30.
Sitting in with us tomorrow, I just found out Rich Voss. Rich Voss. Who says he's not very happy with any of us.
Jesus Christ.
That's it. We'll see you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!